crap. Where are you going?
Fix the lights.
I don't know why. It didn't recognize the camera. So I had to test it with Zoom and it was just fine. And then all of a sudden the camera was working. Go figure. And I can't seem to figure out why it's got a blurry background. I certainly didn't ask for a blurry background, but here it is.
I think it's the default Zoom. It's carrying over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a guess.
All right, so just going to hang around for a little bit and see who's all out there. Hopefully you can hear us okay. And we didn't bother doing the intro because, of course, we were about 5 minutes late getting. And you know what? I'm noticing
We got a delay.
A video delay as well. And there shouldn't be one because we have good speeds. So I'm really wondering what's going on right now. I'm doing a speed test just to verify. I know we have decent speeds. Oh, but we don't at the moment for some reason. That's the lowest it's ever been since we got here. Oh, but we're like triple the speed up. So I don't know.
Well, if it had to be one way, this is the way it should be.
True.
For what we're doing.
True. Give it another shot. Sometimes the second one reads a little better. All right. Well, hopefully it won't be too glitchy. I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Hola, Bruno.
Hey, Bruno. Thanks for joining. We're having a rough start, and I'm noticing some. First of all, the camera didn't connect right away, and I'm noticing a delay. It's pretty apparent as we're watching it. So, hey, Cindy. Hey, Lena. We don't know what's up. The internet speeds are fine. This is just kind of weird.
And it seems like the delay is pretty much gone. So
no, I still see it. I watch it.
It's not as bad as it was.
I talk and my lips move a second later. I feel like I'm at an arena at a rock concert and there's a sound delay.
Is what it is.
Oh, my.
Want a beverage?
Yes, please.
Now that you've had the stressor of getting this started?
Yes, please, please. Always a stress.
You want gold or berry?
I will take a berry cider, please. I haven't had one of those yet. Someday, I hope that we have more than just Strongbow cider to choose from in Mexico.
Be thankful for what you have.
But I'm happy that they at least have this.
Yeah.
This. Yes. Oh, thank goodness, Chris. Thank you. Because we can watch a screen. We have a monitor that shows us that we're on a delay. And every now and then there's a freeze.
Just a slight delay.
Yes, but indeed.
If they're not here to see it live, all they see is the feed. They don't see a delay.
That's not true. Because the last time we did a live from here, there was glitches in the playback.
True.
Yeah. So
now we are trying something tonight. So we have noticed that in watching the lives going back and forth, we have seen where we get red light flashes.
Yeah, we see flashing.
And so we're trying a different power source for the lights tonight to see if it's the lights, because we think maybe it's the light. Ow, God, this table is, oh my God.
We'll explain that in a minute. Continue your thought process, son.
With the brownouts and everything else that occur during the course of a live, sometimes we're wondering if that's what's causing the lights to flicker in a different color.
See, Andrew, thank you. I'm going to post this up and bring this up here. The delay looks like AI generated video. There is a delay. I knew there was a delay. And thank you. We like doing them. We kind of missed doing them because when we were in San Cristóbal, our internet was barely 5 megs.
Oh my God.
We couldn't even do Zoom classes for our Spanish lessons without interruptions.
And watching a ball game was, I mean,
Yeah.
I sometimes would have to refresh during the course of one at bat. So it was just like,
it was very frustrating for him. You know, I couldn't even get, even on Facebook Messenger on my phone. I'm supposed to be using internet and I'm connected to it, but I would keep getting these messages on the phone saying that you're now using mobile data because your internet source is, I don't know, not accepting something. Like,
part of me wonders if it's not Restream. I'm just throwing that out there.
yeah, well,
I mean, they had an issue before where we
maybe,
and to their credit, they stepped up and said, "Hey, this was on us. This was."
they admitted it was them.
Yeah.
Whereas the previous company we used put it all on our ISP and expected us to call this Mexican ISP and have this discussion with them. No, not happening.
And it wasn't the ISP. It was no.
It was them because there were no issues with Restream. But anyway, hey, hola, Alfredo. Oh, very small. I didn't notice it until you mentioned it. Yeah, I have an eye for detail since I edit the videos, and I notice it. It bothers me.
2 more of those, and she won't even notice it. So,
That's not true. I'm not going to drink that many.
I'm just saying.
So the reason Mark has an issue with this table is it is basically 2 columns of masonry block stacked and covered with cement to make them somewhat decorative. So they're that width, they're that length, and then there's a thick glass piece for the tabletop. And
got no problem with the table until I run my knee into the masonry, and then it's like, yikes!
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Oh my God.
It hurts. It hurts a little. Hurts a little bit. Oh goodness, guys, my hair is up. You know why? Because it's hot. I told her friend the other day it's hotter than Satan's armpit here.
Well, and the reason we came inside is because it's blistering out there.
It's the humidity. It's not so much the heat.
It's just,
it's like 85%.
I mean, it's this is reminiscent of when I lived in New Orleans. You get out of the shower and
you sweat before you even dry off.
You're grabbing the towel and you're going, why did I just do this?
Guys, I mean, I was doing my makeup yesterday or the day before yesterday, and just standing in the bathroom, I was sweating so bad. I had to come out and take my shirt off and stand in front of a fan just to cool off. I mean, I had sweat running down my back. That's so gross.
It's humid.
It's very humid.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, goodness. So I just finished up the video today on some things we did in San Cristóbal. And I started work on a video of our visit at Zinacatan and Chamula. I found some music. I found some music online today by a rock band from Chamula. And I did contact them to see if maybe I could use some of their music in the video. So I'm hoping. We'll see.
All we can do is ask.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's sort of unique that, I mean, Chamula is not that big of a town. So to find a rock band from there, it's like, well, okay.
So what's interesting about the band is they dress in the traditional Chamula attire. They wear masks that represent spirit animals, and they sing in Tzotzil language. So they're basically trying to promote the Tzotzil culture. And unfortunately, I haven't seen them post anything since like 2018, 2019. So I don't know if I'll get a response or not.
You may be going to a dead mailbox.
It could be.
I mean,
it wasn't rejected. You never know.
No.
You never know. But I thought it was really cool. Their influences were Coldplay and Metallica. Seems like different ends of a rock spectrum there. But some of the songs that I liked by them definitely sounded kind of Coldplay-ish. So
you didn't hear any Kirk in there?
Well, the songs that I wasn't as attracted to were more Metallica sounding. And I do like Metallica.
I was
It's just
fixing to say.
I really liked their Coldplay sounding type songs.
But then you and Metallica, you go back to the Cliff Burton.
Yes, I like old Metallica. I like Metallica before the bus crash. I like the first three albums especially, particularly Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. That is my prime Metallica era. Yep.
I'm just Metallica is one of those with me. It was always yeah. There were songs, but
okay. Here,
I know
for an example, on the Master of Puppets album, there is a song. I don't want to call it a song. It's an instrumental called Orion. It is amazing. It is metal. It's proggy. I love that track so much. And that's probably a track that only people who've ever actually listened to the album would have ever heard. So, boom. Yeah.
It works for me.
Hey, here we go. There we go. Oh, that's right. First three albums are classic. That's right. Ride the Lightning, number one. I don't play guitar actively like I used to, but I've been playing guitar since I was like 9 years old. And I literally learned how to play that entire intro to Fade to Black. That was one of my masterpiece accomplishments, was learning that intro. It was not an easy song to play. So that's right. And Greg, My Town's Rock Contributions is a band that was huge until the singer was sent to prison for being with underage groupies and Nickelback. We're not doing so great. Oh, well.
Wasn't he from Cleveland, Tennessee, if memory serves me right?
I think he's talking, when you say underage groupies, are you talking about the singer from Creed, Scott Stapp? I'm trying to remember. I could be wrong. Or was it the lead singer for Nickelback? I'm under the impression it might have been Scott.
That's sort of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, Mark.
As long as we still have Alex Anthopoulos as our GM, I never put anything past him as far as getting the players that are needed. And
this is where I drink.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you look at what we've lost and you go, okay, no Spencer Strider, no Ronald Acuna Jr., and being without Michael Harris, all we got to do is make the playoffs. Do we need to run down the Phillies? No, he's got to get a chip in a chair and get into the playoffs. Go from there.
I kind of wish I paid attention to baseball. Then he and I would have something more to talk about.
Well, it just fills my summer months until we get
we get the football back, and I'm like, yeah, football. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse, nice to see you tonight. So
that's my heels girl.
Yeah, that's the heels girl. That's right. Oh, huge band in Canada. Hold up. Jacob Hoggard. Band with Headley. Okay, I'm not familiar with Headley. I was trying to tell him just the other day of a band. Gosh, let me think about it right now. Oh, geez, I'm going to feel so stupid right now because I had it on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, Go for a Soda. He never heard that song, Go for a Soda. And I'm like, really? Look this up. You never did look it up, did you?
No.
You should. You would like it. I know you would like it. God, Kim, was it Kim Mitchell? I think it was. Anyway, great song. Cool video. Different video. They're playing in a refrigerator.
See, now you say playing in a refrigerator.
Inside a refrigerator.
And all I picture is the video that ruined Welcome to the Jungle for me. Jim Carrey from the Deadpool movie with Clint Eastwood and him dancing, doing that in that meat locker. and it killed the
And
song.
he's killing that song for Guns N' Roses.
It was
you
like,
know.
oh man, I'm liking this.
Papa.
Well, if we make the playoffs and get swept by the Rangers, that means we at least made the World Series. So, you know.
That's right.
And all I ever do, you know, it used to be I used to get really irate and things like that. Now, as long as I get entertained during the course of the year, that's all I can ask. You know, it's if we get a championship out of it, hey, more power to us. But you know what? It's give me some entertainment. So
I got like some kind of crazy wackadoo thing going on top of my head now.
yeah, me
Hola,
too.
Anna. See, yes, it was. It was Kim Mitchell. See, you got to look up that song. Damn, that song was so infectious. I loved it. Yes, Suzanne, we are live.
Finally. Well,
in flesh and blood, digitally.
With a slight modest delay.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here we go. More bands. I am taking note. Thank you, Greg. Patio Lanterns and Rock and Roll Duty. Henry would be proud.
Henry is a friend of ours from St. Catharines in Ontario, and he is an audiophile and big into his band.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that buys like $6,000 worth of speakers and like a $3,000 or $4,000 turntable.
Well, that's because he didn't have to answer to a wife. It's like, okay.
Yeah, he's single.
Oh, I want this.
And he works for the government, I believe.
Whatever he does.
Environmental. He does water. He's a water chemist, and he does environmental water testing or something like that.
He's doing well for himself.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Got no kids to feed.
Nope.
No duties at home except maintaining his house.
And pretending to be Stan.
And pretending to be.
I'm just, you know.
Our friend Henry told us he had a brother named Stan.
We don't believe him.
Stan had a Facebook page, but Stan is hardly ever active. And Stan would make these posts for a while. And finally we said, Fred, we don't think Stan's real. We think you made Stan up. Mm-hmm. We don't think there's a Stan. Stan the man.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Let's see. For other Canadian bands from that era, Crash Test Dummies. Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that song. Although I never really listened to anything else except for what was on that album.
Well, and then you had Bare Naked Ladies.
And I see you say Superman's song was one of their biggest hits. But I'm like the song. I don't know. That guy's baritone is just super, super impressive. Let's see. Hell yeah, those of us unmarried have the best toys.
Damn, Skippy.
Why not? You work for it, you earned it, you please yourself with it. I mean, why not?
One of my best friends, I remember, when we were in Vegas, sitting at a blackjack table, and he would dump a couple grand, and I'd be like, dude. He goes, I don't have an accountant at home. He's like,
I don't have a wife to berate me.
Because I'd be like, man, if I lost that much, I would be dead.
Well, you wouldn't be dead.
Well, I wouldn't want to go home.
Okay, here we got a question. Hey, Andrew. Right now, we are in La Crucecita, which is very close to the Bahías de Huatuco.
Basically, it's like a neighborhood in the Bahías.
Yeah, it's in the municipality. It's in the municipality of Huatuco, but it is kind of its own sort of almost resort-like, man-made, vacationers type village, more or less.
And it's almost more like the true Mexico Centro of the Bahia's area. I mean,
well, there actually is a Santa. That is the true Centro. The actual town.
Well, I'm just saying,
yeah, it's not that far from here, though.
No, not if you don't follow Google's walking pattern. It's not very far.
That's true. But yeah, we're in Huatuco because the first lady of Huatuco Cindy and her husband Fred. That's how we found out about the place. And they were one of the first people that I would watch on YouTube, aside from like Tangerine Travels and Kinetic Cannons and things like that.
And don't forget Ernie.
And Ernie, yeah. But they were
Mariana.
I know, there was a bunch of them. But they were one of them. And they were the first couple. Well, really, it's Cindy. She was the first person that actually showed in the videos I watched their budget. And their budget is based on the two of them getting Social Security. And she was so detailed. She even wrote down how much they tithe each week, how much they spend on a massage each week. I mean, every penny. And I looked at him and went, do you see this? But
no, because I was watching the Braves.
Right.
But I mean, you know,
but we are going to try to get together with them. I have been in contact with Cindy. Right now, she and Fred are visiting family. Probably in the next week or two, they'll be back in the area. And we're here for 2 months. So we have time to get together with them.
And we have Winston's coming down next week. And then we have, oh, shame on me. See, I knew I shouldn't have gone down here with names. I was going to screw this up. Someone's coming down the week before we leave, or actually 2 weeks before we leave. So
yeah, we've got people that we're definitely meeting up with. I don't know if we're going to do. I mean, I think I want to do some kind of collaborative video with Cindy and Fred. Cindy hasn't been real active. She mentioned to me that she had some work done with her eyes. So, I mean, I'd like to. I don't know what we're going to do. If we maybe might want to interview them about, you know, how they found themselves here and what they're.
Well, I think we're going to
like
sit down and do a dinner and have a few drinks and go, okay, where does this lead?
You know, they may want to do something with us, you know, interview us about something. We don't know yet. But they were one of the reasons we chose Huatuco. And a lot of people have an interest in this area.
Yeah, because I mean, Winston's coming down because he and his family are moving down. Rick Daugherty is coming down. Matter of fact, he gets here 2 days after we go to Oaxaca, and he's coming down. He's here to stay. So
you know, two travelers in Mexico, Mark and Paulette, told me that their Huatuco videos were some of the highest viewed videos that they did. So there's obviously an interest in this area. We wanted to,
with good reason.
We wanted to see. We like it. We like it here. It's just, gosh, the humidity, guys. Oh my gosh.
It's warm.
It's very warm. And I can imagine that if you have to run the air conditioner, your electric bill is going to skyrocket.
Solar panels.
You're going to need solar panels, man, for sure. Right now we have the air on. I hate to do it. I really hate to do it. And I have it on the dry setting, so it's more of a dehumidifier. But I hate to have it turned on because it's on all night when we're in bed too, and I'm a little concerned about the usage. But I don't know.
We're also paying pretty penny. So
we're paying a lot to be here, honestly, and that's just the way Airbnb is.
And
we've learned two things about this. Airbnb rates, yes, they've gone up, but if they're not charging you electricity, you're probably paying a lot for the rental, or they'll give you a discount on the rental,
but then you give it right back to them on the electricity.
But they ask you to pay the electricity, right? Yeah. So we'll see. Alfredo, you married the best toy?
Alfredo?
Oh no. Do we need to know more about that?
No, it's a question.
and Andrew and Suzanne, yes, that last Airbnb in San Cristóbal was, you know, it was simple. It was lacking a few things that it could use, like a pantry, so you could have a place to store dishes and, you know,
enough hot water,
a bigger hot water tank,
or a better on demand,
or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, to smell the birds. Yes, there are fireworks, and they echo. They echo, but
Well, it says live.
all right. I don't know. It disconnected us and reconnected. Anyway, what I was saying is that it was a wonderful way to decompress.
Oh God, yes. That front porch was no.
There, you could smell the pine. You could smell people burning wood. You could hear the birds. You could hear fireworks that would echo in the valley, like they would echo.
And anywhere from, oh, I don't know, 6 a.m. till 1 a.m. you could hear boom. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
and my joke was it was the Guatemalans invading. So I mean, it was just, you know.
But it was just really nice, so relaxing. And that wooded trail that was behind the property, I enjoyed that so much.
And one of the biggest things I think that we really, really liked that didn't really feature or anything in it, it had a huge sunlight area, sunroof. And when it would rain, and boy, did it rain a lot.
Yeah.
That white noise for sleeping was like, oh, it was right outside the bedroom. You could hear it in there. And it was like, yeah.
But when the rainy season hit, it got much cooler at night. And it got downright cold at night. And there is no heat in that home except for a single fireplace in the living area.
In our space heater.
And it's a wood burning fireplace. So I didn't want to. They left us some wood. I didn't want to burn the wood. It wasn't going to help us in the bedroom. So we just used a space heater, which of course uses a lot of electricity. So I was trying to be careful about that. Hey, hola, Wilfredo. I was in Cerritos near Todos Santos in Baja last July. Very hot. I ran the AC a ton at night. Yeah, except we're running it at night and halfway through the day.
Up.
Okay,
up.
I'm getting there. It's not letting me. Okay, let's get up here.
There we go.
All right. Andrew, love the music talk. Live in Nashville. If you guys visit, I got an extra room right downtown near the Ryman.
Music with us.
I love the Ryman. It's beautiful.
That is
and small.
It's a bond that with the two of us, and we literally can sit and have the same topic conversation.
Yeah.
But we take it in different directions as far as bands and this and that, and sometimes it covers the same ground. I know, but
his music tastes are a little more focused. There's a smaller range.
More?
Well, they are. You got a lot of taste, but his tastes are very focused, and I'm kind of all over the place. I'm all over the place.
Todo del mundo. I mean,
world music. I like listening to, Celtic music, and I like listening to Indian music, particularly Bhangra. I like listening to Asian music. I like everything. I like everything. Yeah, there's very few things I don't like. One of them is there's I don't know what it's called. It's like maybe it's a bebop. It's a free form jazz where everybody just takes the music wherever it takes them, and it just goes all over the place and meanders and never finds its way home again. I don't like that.
Me either. That's like the jam bands.
That's about it. And really, really hardcore. Oh, I don't like screamo. I hate screamo. And I don't like really hardcore rap. And I don't know how to describe it. Just where they're like shouting. Like same thing. It's screamo, but it's rap. I don't like it. Other than that, It's wide open.
I mean, we literally can have conversations every year when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame comes out with their lists. We have to have, we go down the entire list and we just go, no.
It gets worse though. Keep going.
I wasn't going to go there. I just was going to comment that we have, because it's become the Hall of Good. I mean, we sit there and go, some of them have good careers, but they're not Hall of Fame worthy. But okay,
no, I don't call it the Hall of. It's
well, it's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No,
it's the Music Hall of Fame.
It's the Music Hall of Fame. It's not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's the Hall of Good, because there's bands in there that if three hit songs can get you into the Hall of Good, then okay.
I heard the word 3 and I was waiting.
No, I said 3. If you have 3 songs that make the charts, and there are some that they're in there with
true.
3 songs that made the charts, you can't fill up a full CD of greatest hits. Your ass has no business even being on the ballot.
We, Suzanne, are going to we're trying to stay in Querétaro for 6 months. We chose that place to set, regroup, recharge. And also because Querétaro is one of the highest rated places that we've stayed. It's definitely high up in our list of potentials.
Well, when she says highest rated by us, it's one of the highest.
One of our highest rated, right, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
it's got a potential of being the final place. It is not, it's not a signed deal at all. We still have places to visit.
Well, and even still, I mean, SLP still in the run.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's one of the top places for us.
Let's put it this way: it's going to be in the final consideration.
But the problem is, it's been very hard finding a place furnished and
a 6-month lease,
leased for 6 months.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what we're seeing is they want a year. We're not willing to commit to a year. A lot of places are unfurnished. We did ask about potentially renting furniture. We're willing to do that. But we keep getting steered toward Airbnb because it's so difficult to get a 6-month lease. And the problem with Airbnb, 2 things. Airbnb is expensive, number one. And for 6 months, it's stupid expensive.
Well, and the other part of that is if they've got 1 week in there rented, we'll never see the property, because when we go to look it up, and we did have one that we really liked that was just outside of Centro, and they
wanted way too much money for an Airbnb rate,
and we contacted the host and said, look, we'd be willing to do this. Okay. And they were like, hey, 6 months worth of guaranteed income on this, but we're going to, we're willing to pay in this range. And of course, they instantly went to the high end, which Gina knew when she gave them the range. And that sounds good. Let me contact the owners. And we have not heard a thing peep since then.
And the amount that I offered was almost half of what they were asking on Airbnb. Now, I initially contacted them and kind of alluded to the fact that would they be willing to lease it to us for 6 months? I'm happy to discuss it on WhatsApp. Airbnb immediately flags it as trying to work off of the platform. The host immediately said yes, but only on the platform. And I'm like, that rate would be fine for a month, but we're looking for 6 months, and that's just out of our budget.
Yep.
And so she asked what our budget was, and I gave her a range, and we haven't heard a word since.
Nope.
So other than that, he's been finding all kinds of places in Hurrikia, Zibata, Zakia, which is not where we want to be.
Well, that might be where we end up.
I'm gonna shoot that shit down right now. No.
Okay. Then
I don't want to be in Hurrikia. I don't want to be in Zakia.
All right, that's a conversation for later. I
know, but maybe we could look closer to like Pueblito or something.
I have, and
no. We'll
again,
look later.
conversation for later.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. Let's just say that. It hasn't been easy.
And part of it also is we do have good friends, Romy and Lee's, who are looking for us. And the problem is they can't really do anything this far out because, somebody's not going to sit on an empty house
right.
for 4 months
No.
or 5 months right now, 5 months waiting for us to do a 6-month lease. I understand that.
Absolutely.
Totally,
Yeah.
And so,
which is also why I'm not even looking on Facebook Marketplace and things like that either, for that same reason.
Because if I'm a landlord and I'm sitting there going, I've got somebody who wants it in December, but somebody comes to me now and goes, I want to rent it for a solid year. Guess which one I'm renting it to? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's also been stated, I've seen it multiple times on all the expat groups and stuff, that Querétaro is now, one of the most expensive places to live, apparently, in Mexico. Is it? I don't know.
Well, it'll be interesting to go back and find out.
Because we have something we can compare it with, because we were there for 2 months when we first came to Mexico. Well, we were in Zakia. But I don't know. Would it be more expensive than the places in the Yucatan? Somehow I doubt that, but we'll see. We will see. So, Jesse, I've started to try to get the visa. Kind of worried to just get the temp, because expecting a flood down south after the election. Are y'all hearing anything about a flood of people coming down?
Okay, first of all, Jesse, don't worry about it. Get your temporary. Because whatever happens north of the border, and even if they all come down here, it's not going to affect what happens on this side of the border as far as the INM goes. So, once you have your temporary, it's golden. It's easy down here. You get a good facilitator, you go in, they can get you taken care of, and you're good for the first year. Then you go back in at the end of 1 year and you get 3 more years. So all in all, it's 3 visits to the INM. The initial one, the 1 year, and then at the end of the 3 years, at the end of the 3-year renewal, you go in, you get permanent, all done. So
it's better.
Don't worry about it down here. The hardest part is going to be up there. And if there is a flood because of the election, whichever idiot wins up there, people want to come down here knowing the way that most Americans or most people in the U.S. think. They're going to wait and make that decision after the election. So if you're already if you can get your appointment before November, you're golden.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and you're going to save yourself money.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to save yourself money. You're going to make it easier to qualify.
Correct. That's a better way of saying it. Yes.
Because the qualifications for solvency go up every year.
Almost 20%.
And they're going to continue to probably go up because their new president, who takes office here in a few months, basically has said that she wants to see the minimum wage go up another 50% over the span of her career, or her presidency.
Which is 6 years. So it's
going to continue to go up.
That's roughly what, 12% a year? No, 8% a year. But if that continues like that, it's right now it's been going up by almost 20% every year, and that's next year, 2025. The estimation is going to be over $5,000 to get qualified.
And have you guys seen this? Mariana posted it, Mexico Relocation Guide, that McAllen is no longer taking anyone, at least at the moment, outside of Texas in their office. That's a shocker, because it was only a couple years ago that McAllen, number one, had the lowest in the U.S. for solvency requirements.
Correct.
And they would take anybody.
You basically almost could walk up. I mean, it was, I say basically, we did get an appointment.
Yeah.
And that was our backup, that if we couldn't get one in Kansas City, the plan was we would actually drive to McAllen and do it through the McAllen office.
Mhm.
And if for some reason something went haywire there, then it was going to be and we hated to do this. We were going to do the 180 days, get in the country, and then try and do it through, regularization.
We didn't need to.
We didn't need to. We got that.
our visa.
Yep.
But McAllen was like that. It was like wide open for anybody in the country with the lowest qualifications for their solvency.
And what she's meaning by that is there are two formulas that are used for solvency requirements. And the one of them is tied directly to the Mexican minimum wage. And that is the one that has been going up by about 20% every year. The revised one that was approved by the Mexican government, but has not yet been implemented, uses a different multiplier. And if you want the total explanation, Retired Life Mexico, No Bull, Ernie Baca did a very good video on explaining that, as I think Mariana also did on Mexico Relocation Guide. But the other one resulted in a much lower floor to qualify. And each individual consulate is sort of like its own little kingdom. And the head of the consulate gets to choose.
I mean, they have autonomy.
They do. And that's the right word. And so they would get to choose which one they want to do. Well, the overwhelming majority went with the formula that they've been using for years, which is the one that was tied to the minimum wage. And McAllen was a little more aggressive when the new one was approved. They did it, and theirs was, if I remember right, $700 or $800 a month lower.
Well, I don't think it was ever confirmed that they were using any formula.
Well, but the requirement level was much lower.
Yes, it was.
And so what happened is a lot of people who were trying to do it exclusively on Social Security, McAllen was their way of getting in.
Yeah.
And so McAllen was being inundated by people from all over the country who were going, I can't qualify at the Atlanta office. I can't qualify at the Kansas City office. I can't qualify here or there, but I qualify in McAllen. And so they were purposely making a trip to McAllen just to get the visa. And I think what happened to McAllen was they went, we don't want to work this hard again. We're just going to raise it to the same with everybody else. And then they instituted the same policy that I know that the Orlando office and other consulates have, where they go, we are only going to take people within this geographical region.
Right.
And they instituted, said, if you don't have a Texas ID, you're not going to get an appointment at McAllen. So
like the first thing McAllen did was raise their solvency requirement.
Right in line with everybody else.
Pretty much with what everyone else had.
Well, want to take away the incentive.
That went on for, 5-6 months, something like that. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, there was an announcement that for the time being, they are taking nobody from outside of Texas. And the question is that going to end up being permanent? So that's a really super long explanation of why you need to do it now.
Yeah, and Jesse, especially if you're in Durham and they have the consulate right there in Raleigh, the hardest part, and when we first started doing this, we didn't realize this. We thought this was all going to be a breeze on that side of the border. The hardest part's getting the visa appointment. It's like a lottery. And so, getting your paperwork together and all that, that's, doing it in advance, that's all well and good, but get the appointment.
Andrew, so, we will make our way into Baja, but because it's West Coast, it's going to be one of the last locations we end up hitting. One of the last ones. No?
It's the last one.
Well, I mean, it's at the end. Semantics.
Okay.
It's at the end of our journey, mostly.
Yeah. that is when we make the announcement finally of where we're going to finally settle down.
Yeah.
It will be from La Paz.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yep.
either we're staying there in Baja California, South or Sur, or we're going back to the mainland, whatever. But the announcement will be made at La Paz, because we originally were going to go to Loreto and also San Carlos de las Lucas, and we finally just went. We with the 6-month stay, we said no, we're going to go to La Paz. We'll do a day trip up to Loreto, and then we can drive the 2 hours down to, or the hour and a half down to,
And visit
the Cabos area. Yeah.
Suzanne, honestly, what you and Jesse are hearing, I don't know how accurate that is.
People say the same shit every 4 years.
Every 4 years when somebody gets elected, they say that stuff. Now, we were like, ooh, we should be doing it too. And we did. But it was probably more due to
It wasn't because of an election. It was because of everybody on both sides of the aisle being so damn pissed off at each other. We were tired of all the hate.
Yeah, we were tired of the hatred. We were tired of people fighting in the street, ransacking places and marching for this and that. But mostly, we saw that.
Well, the marching's okay. It's when they started looting and the other stuff. That's
we started seeing the solvency requirements continue to climb, and we would have barely squeaked by, and we ended up not qualifying for each of us individually, and so I had to qualify as the income, and he had to qualify as a dependent. And that's how we got in. And that was with me working full time, Yeah.
They asked me if I minded being independent. And I was like,
yeah,
we're joined at the hip. So it doesn't really make any difference.
I think the concern about people suddenly rushing the border, let's be real about this right now. If starting in January, the solvency is $5,000 whatever dollars a month, tell me how many people are making $5,000 a month. I think it's going to be hard, and it's going to be especially impossible for those people on Social Security that had this dream of doing this. They're not going to be able to do it.
It's in the past revision of the formula. I think part of the not wanting to rush to implement it is sort of just what Suzanne's saying there about it's sort of a let's close the tap a little bit, because there was a lot of people that were coming this direction, and hey, we get it, we did it, and they wanted to give the INM a chance to catch up, and they also had not problems. They were instituting a computerized system at all the border crossings, and so that took some implementation, and it took some time to get the bugs worked out of that. They were installing the card printers at the majority of all of the INM offices. Again, anytime, if any of you have ever done anything as far as a computer rollout, you know that no matter how prepared you are, there are bugs that are going to jump up. And so, they had problems with the cards. They had problems with the printers.
Not with me.
I understand that. So all of these things took time, and I think they really sort of wanted to pump the brakes a little bit and go, okay, whoa, how much do we want to absorb into our economy? And and they're going, hey, you know what? If you're bringing in $5,000 a month and you want to come down here, come on.
Let's see. Ryman is very, very, very special. I agree. And I remember the first time I ever saw it, I couldn't believe how small it was, how intimate it was. It was amazing. It's just a very cool place. I would love to see a show there. It was one of my bucket list venues. One of them being Red Rocks, which I finally got to do. but it's one of them.
There's a handful in the U.S. that you go, yeah, Ryman, Red Rocks, Fox Theater in Atlanta, Fillmore, East and West.
Yeah. And okay, and I don't know, Suzanne, if they would. There is talk. There is talk, and it might just be to get things under control. There's definitely an influx of people coming through the border at Guatemala. We saw these people
Wow.
when we were driving here to Huatulco from San Cristóbal de las Casas. I mean, we saw them.
And we saw the tent cities.
There were tent cities. There were people in long lines with backpacks, carrying babies, pushing strollers, pulling wagons, all on foot. At first, we thought they were maybe walking to work, or
a
something.
fiesta. I mean, we didn't know
No.
if they was ever, they were walking to do something, because we only saw a handful of them. And we're like, okay, maybe they're all going up here. And then as the miles continued, and it was an 8-hour drive, and we saw them for probably a good 6 hours of that drive.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really see them so much the first hour, 5 hours of that drive, and then it was just like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah. Well, hello, old ho trolling. Trolling. That's a very interesting name. So let me guess, you're Americans in another country because it's cheap and you think the natives actually like you. Well, we have never met any native who didn't like us. We have had natives ask us to stay longer. We have had natives invite us and make us a part of their family.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate the culture. We appreciate the archaeology and the history. We respect people. We like people for people. Hatred begets hatred. Love begets love. And that's how we live. If somebody doesn't like us, we can't change their mind. We can't make them like us. We hope that they will, because we have nothing but respect for people. And that's how we promote ourselves. That's how we talk about others. That's how we interact with others. We always have respect and consideration for everyone around us. And that's the only thing we can do.
I mean, respect given is respect earned. And
mm-hmm.
You cannot expect people to off the bat go, I have to respect you. No, you get what you give. Yeah. And what we have really learned about the Mexican people is what you give is returned in so much more. I mean, even just the simple things, and it's just the embrace that you get from them is unbelievable.
It's true.
And
as far as it costing less to live here, well,
it's about the same. I mean, it's a little bit.
It's a little bit less. It's because we've been living in Airbnbs, and the Airbnbs are very expensive. The Airbnbs that we stay in cost more than the rent we paid in the United States. And it's we could pay Mexican rent if we stayed in a particular place long enough to do that, but we don't. We move every 1 to 3 months, so we're very nomadic. As far as being rich, I think that's just sort of, you call it what you will. We have no savings. We have no pension. He's living on Social Security. I haven't had a job since October last year.
Hopefully that changes tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping that changes soon, because I've got an interview this week. But, we're very frugal. We try very much to support local business. And when I say that, I don't mean Soriana. I don't mean Chedraui. I mean, we actually do try to support tiendas, the local hair salon,
restaurantes,
the local, food carts. We go to the mercados. So we do try to support the local community. We're not flashy. We don't have a lot. We don't own a lot. We're just being us. We try to be humble, and we try to be respectful. And that's all we can ask. Anybody do that with us. We don't hate anybody. We've never had that sort of. It's never like that for us.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, well,
there are people that have exhibited behaviors improving themselves, but right off the bat, no.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
everybody is given the equal opportunity to prove who they are and
to prove their worth and to prove what they are on the inside, because on the inside is what matters.
Yep.
We know that there's a lot of issues in gentrification in places, but at the moment, what's really happening around the world everywhere is this crazy ass inflation. It's everywhere. It's in Europe. It's in the United States. It's in Canada. It's here in Mexico. And
well, you have that, and then you throw in social media, which is the biggest divider on the planet.
Social media has turned into such a poisonous state of mind. I remember when I first got a Facebook account, I was so excited to connect with people I hadn't seen since I was a teenager. And now when I open up Facebook or something, it's just people saying horrible, nasty things to each other. And that's not what we're about.
Nope.
So I hope that your trolling has softened your heart a little bit. We're not those kinds of people. We do live here because it does cost less, but it's more than that. It's also because we have vacationed in Mexico.
And we
love the people. We love the people so much. We love the food. We love the culture. It's an adventure for us every day. In the United States, they never taught us anything about Mexican history. We knew nothing. Nothing.
And the other part is people talk to one another down here.
They do.
You do not. It is rude to walk by somebody without saying, Buenas tardes, Buenos dias, Buenas noches, whatever. But people talk to one another. They acknowledge one another.
I mean, there's a sense of community. There's community here. There's family. That's a lot of things that's missing where we came from. And it's really nice to see. And it makes you feel good inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know.
Next,
we're moving on.
Yep.
There we go. All right, Jesse. Consulate stopped taking people from out of state, and Boston is the only people taking people from out. Yeah, something is changing.
Well, I think part of it is in 2021, 2022, when we were doing it, it really was, I think the big swell was just starting. And I think that certain locations of consulates were trying to be, as is typical of what happens with the Mexican culture, hey, we'll take care of you. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden,
it got to be too much.
It went from being a swell to the tidal wave, and they went, whoa.
Yeah, it got overwhelming for them. So that's understandable. Hey, Chris. Blues and rock for me. Jethro Tull have waited too long to get in. Right. I agree. And I like Jethro Tull. And I'm a particularly prog rock type fan.
And Jethro Tull has a CD full of greatest hits that are all recognizable, So
instead of 3 songs.
I mean, I just.
Andrew's going to see Nitty Gritty Dirt Band in October. Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, Nitty Gritty. Yeah. I mean, I think they're calling it quits after this, if I read correctly. Jethro Tull's my seed, ZZ Top. I mean, I'm into a lot of, I'm focused, but it is very, love the 70s funk. That's just, the early Commodores. Oh my God. I turned her on to that. And she was like,
I didn't know.
She was from the, Lionel Richie, the
ballad era.
And it was like, good God, those guys could get down.
They
it was
were
like,
funky.
Yeah. And yes, in 1977, I did go see Parliament Funkadelic. And it was one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen, and the best concert to this day, visually,
Doug Henning,
was the EWF Earth, Wind and Fire concert that was choreographed by Doug Henning in 1978, and they had magic going. And that shit blew your mind. I mean, it was just like, whoa. And, you know, best concert I ever went to, musically, Ella Fitzgerald. That woman she raised a hair on your arms. She did Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and I swear to God, every hair on my body, which ain't a whole lot of them, was like,
Ella Fitzgerald. All right.
With George Benson, and the two of them got up there together for an encore, and it was like, oh. All right, where are we at?
I don't know. I'm a little confused right now. Hey, Wilfredo, what? Claudia got an 85 mile per hour ticket. Oh, gotta be careful. Right? Jen. Yeah, we are. We're live right now.
Ask us anything.
Ask us anything. We're answering everything at the moment. So let's see. All right.
It sort of got on the music, Jen, just because we had technical problems at the beginning, and just sort of went there.
It's acting weird again. I'm clicking on Ask Us Anything, or I'm clicking on Wilfredo's message, and it's not showing it. All right. Well, Wilfredo just mentioned that Landy sold the Zakia place a couple weeks ago. I'm surprised because they wanted to sell it, and it was a matter of basically there not being enough equity in it to do that.
Well, yeah, I think if memory serves me right, they didn't have it that long. And the problem with trying to sell a property that had already been owned in Zakia was they were building so much new in there that for them to make their money back and realize any profit was going to be difficult because they were almost being head-to-head competition with brand new units. And that was like, ooh,
Yep.
You know, that's tough.
There we go. Jesse, that's right. Got the guide after y'all recommended it. Last live chat. Wow, it is so good.
It is.
You know what? Let me pull this up and show this real quick, because for anyone who's new and haven't seen this really is amazing.
It's the Bible of moving to Mexico. I mean,
here's why this is probably the best source you will ever find for all of your needs living in Mexico as a foreign resident. Basically, she updates it constantly. You can do a lot of Google searching yourself if you're good at doing that. And I am.
And we are.
But she updates it. A lot of those sources on Google don't get updated that much. And as soon as she hears anything, she updates it. Oh, thank you. What am I getting now? Golden apple. Okay. But that's one of the reasons why it's really valuable, is that it is accurate. The other reason is, gosh, there is so much information in there about every aspect of living here. There really is.
Well, the other part of that, to be honest, is the fact that there are so many things that she has in there that you don't even start to think of. And so for you to do the research and then go, oh, I hadn't even thought about that. You go through the guide and you start going, oh my God, I don't know when I would have thought about this or this or this. So, you know, even just for a guide for you to do research from, which you don't have to do the research because she's already done it, but just to look at it and go, oh my God, I've never thought of that, or this, which we put a lot of work in, and then we went, okay.
Interesting comment here. Canadians were going to McAllen. What? They would take Canadians.
Yeah. I mean, they were basically.
I thought a U.S. consulate office would only take people in the U.S. I thought that, wow, that's wow. I didn't know that. Okay, Tom. Funny. Looks like you two are almost on a split screen. I know, right? Pretty cool, right?
Okay.
back to the mainland. Oh, I must be missing something. Anyway, let's see. Hank's mom, after taxes per person is the thing that people need to remember. Yeah, that is true. But then after taxes,
Yeah,
theoretically,
well,
it's
because it
less.
has to show what is actually going into
Right. Your
bank account.
your fluid stream of cash.
Correct.
Karen, hi Karen. How do you handle your address change with temporary residency? Because my understanding is you're supposed to report your address within 60 days. Well, whenever we're a little lax on it. Let's be honest.
Little is being nice.
We're a little lax. We're a little bit behind. You are supposed to update. We need to do that again. My plan was to do that in Oaxaca. I was going to update our address in Oaxaca.
Well,
What?
My thought process was that we would probably do that when we got to Querétaro, because
Yeah, but that's 5 months from now.
and we went the whole first year. I mean, it's sort of a whoop-de-doo. I mean, we pushed the envelope before, but then we could use our good friends Annie and Arlene's address because they would help.
Yeah.
If anybody were to show up and go, we're looking for Mark and Gina, if they did an Airbnb address, they'd all go, who?
That's true.
At least,
I mean, because
they're over on the West Coast. They're traveling right now, but yes, they live here. I mean, okay.
And that is a true statement. When we're in Airbnbs, those aren't permanent addresses anyway.
They knock on that door and nobody knows us.
But they accept those addresses as your address whenever you make your change. So that's part of it. Now, so we should be doing it every 60 days, but we haven't been. It's been longer than 60 days. But we have done at least one address change so far, and we're due to do another one here. So
that was my plan. The girls have already said, yeah, you can use our address, and that way, if for some reason an I&M were to show up, they could just go, they're out of town, they're traveling, da da da. So, but they would go, yes, we know them,
and they could always connect with us if they needed to. If I&M was to say to them, get them on the phone or something like that, I mean, they could. Because, well, we're friends.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to go for 6 months, they still require $5,000 income a month.
Well,
I mean, for a visa. If you want a resident visa.
Correct.
Yes.
If you just did 6 months, you could do the 180 days. You can just show up at the border and do the tourist visa. But the problem with that is that doesn't get you any closer to actually living here.
Right.
Unlike some people, we're not going to advocate doing border runs.
Hi, Claudia. You are so good people. Rude comments must be ignored, but you are very humble. We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? But I believe strongly in answering those comments. And I try to do it in a way to make them understand that we're not the people they think we are.
And
right?
there have been instances where we have gotten some blowback or trolling from people on some particular videos. And I pointed out, you know what? I apologize if you've had a bad experience with other gringos.
Right.
We aren't those types of people.
That's not us.
That's not who we are. And so, on behalf of gringos everywhere, not all of us are the same. So we want to be here. We are trying to assimilate and be a positive in the community and everything else. And sorry if you run into some entitled, which I guess is probably the best way of saying it.
We've even run into the entitled while we've been here. So yes, we know that they're there. We know they exist. We're not those people. So, and yes, nobody needs to tell someone else where to live. I agree.
No.
I agree. And we don't do that to people who come to the United States either. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it one time and I won't repeat it again. I worked in a laboratory. There were at least 4 different people from different countries working there with me. I know there was one from Dominican Republic. There was one from Jamaica.
India.
There was one who I believe Ozzy was. Ozzy, I don't know if Ozzy was Indian. She might have been Pakistani.
Oh, okay.
I'm not real sure. And then there was one. Actually there was another one too. There was one who might have been Filipino, and then there was another one who was from an Arab country, and she used to wear a scarf to work. And I remember she made a comment one day about how angry it made her that people could go to the United States and just be welcomed in and not have to go through the same rigors that her family had to go through. It cost them $10,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
They saved for years.
Mm-hmm.
It took almost 10 years before they were finally approved to become residents of the U.S. She was angry, and she wasn't a U.S. citizen. She was somebody who went through and did things.
But she wanted to become
legally.
one, and,
Yes.
and she was on the path to doing it.
Yes.
And had spent the money and everything else to go through the entire process, which is what we did coming down here.
Right. So
because, well, yeah, we didn't want to end up in a Mexican prison because we didn't do things correctly. It's,
right.
You do it the right way.
And then so she was a foreigner who came to reside in the U.S. who was not pleased at how much money and time her family had to spend to do things legally, but they did it legally, and we're doing it legally. And
another thing on that one, Chris, this is the only time I'm going to do this as well. Nobody gets to tell somebody else how to vote. Everybody gets to choose the candidate that best suits them. We all go through life. We all arrive at different places, and we all have candidates who appeal to us because of where we are. And you know what? Whether you're on the right, whether you're on the left, it makes no difference. You get to vote for the candidate that best fits you. It doesn't make the person who votes on the other side evil any more than it makes you evil
or crazy,
or crazy
unhinged,
or stupid or anything else. Everybody walks their own journey, and they reach that point and they go, this is my candidate. And you know what? That's what made America great, was that, you could all choose who you got to vote for. And there's not a right, there's not a wrong. And that is what needs to change.
Okay, moving on.
Enough of that.
All right, music. We got more music.
Yeah.
Music. Commodores, Isley Brothers, yes and yes.
Oh, Isley Brothers. Brothers Johnson. That Thunder Thumbs and Lightning Licks album is one of the greatest of all times. Strawberry Letter 23.
Which was actually Shuggy Otis. Just saying. And they covered it.
I didn't say they didn't cover it. I'm just saying, but that album is phenomenal.
And I like Shuggy Otis. So Sheila E. Yes, Sheila E. You know what? She is so much more than Love Bazaar. I mean, she's so talented and
well, and more than just being part of the backup of Prince.
Basically, yeah. No, she's
good.
And
you want another great concert?
Garth Brooks was good. The only concert I've ever seen him cry at. Just saying. Hi, Jim. Thanks for joining us tonight. And all is well. Hope it's well with you as well. Tom, let's see. Saw George Benson at the Newport Jazz. Wow. It's a drive.
Benson was the opener for Ella Fitzgerald. And the only reason I went to the concert was because I wanted to go see George Benson. Because to me, Breezin' is a classic album.
Give me the night.
And I understand that's a good one as well. But I mean, if I'm riding down the road, then you put Breezin' on, and it's just sort of like, whoa, okay, this is driving music. But
it's good.
And then all of a sudden, I was ready to leave after George was done and stuck around, and thank God I did, because I was blown away by Ella Fitzgerald. Just Whoa.
Oh, let's see here. Suzanne, a little bit ago, Mark said you would announce your new permanent residence once you get to Baja. He said wherever it may be, like mainland.
Look, it could be the mainland.
Could be.
It could be
We
Baja.
don't know. We don't know, which is why we're going to continue.
Yes.
And we're not making a decision until we finally do our final stay in Baja.
Finish the tour.
Right.
I mean, because one of the things that was, and still is every place we go has something positive. I mean, there's very few that we have gone, nope, not going to be, that's out of the running.
Okay, so this is good. The address comment has me thinking, how do you change your address if you are back in the U.S.? Don't know anyone in Mexico. Are there address services in Mexico or some other way? Well, you can let the INH know, which you would anyway. When you are leaving the country, they have you recorded as leaving, but you're not losing your residency.
No.
So they know that you're not in the country. And after that, they don't really care where you are. They only care when you come back. But you don't lose your residency when you leave. That's the key there.
All right. But when you come back, I cannot stress this enough. When you come back and you are in line, you do not give them your passport first. If you're a temporary resident,
or a permanent resident,
you give them your residency card first, because it's a different stamp. And if they accidentally stamp your passport with the tourist stamp, there goes your status. So, it's when I got off the plane after coming back from my aunt's funeral, my passport was still in my back pocket. And, they were like, please take your passports out. It was in my back pocket, and I had my residency card out because she was up there just going ka-chunk, ka-chunk,
yeah,
ka-chunk.
It's muscle memory.
And so I handed her my residency card, and she looked up at me. Oh, and so then I handed her the passport. It interrupted her flow that she was going on, and she went, because it's in a different column. So that's sort of how you have to deal with that.
Yeah, but I don't know of any temporary, or I don't know any mail. I don't know mail. We don't know anything about mail services.
Is there mail service
in Mexico? To be quite honest, very few people even use mail in Mexico. So having a mail service really doesn't make much sense to have. I don't know if they even exist.
I think Merida was the only place that we saw
actual mail carriers. Most people here, when they receive something, it's being delivered by, is it Estafeta,
DHL, FedEx.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
mail gets delivered here in strange ways and not always on time, if ever. So it's more like package services. But when you leave Mexico, you just leave Mexico, and now that they're electronic, they know you're gone.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it. And Adolphus, Apophis, I'm sorry, I said that wrong, Apophis. I don't know how anyone control you both. You two are the most humble people I've seen on YouTube. Thank you. And
gracias.
That's how we want to be seen. I can understand someone trolling me, but it's hard to see you guys get trolled. You know what happens?
There are some people that would troll the Pope.
Some people are unhappy.
They instead of trying to become happy, they want to drag the rest of the world down to their own miserable state. So,
or it's like this, or maybe they have had a set of circumstances through their life that they blame people like us for causing. And we don't know what their life journey has been. It may have been, they may have these feelings that come from a very valid place. And we don't know their journey. All we can do is say to them, look, we're different people. We're not who you think we are. And they either accept it or they don't, and we move on.
Yep.
That's it. every time. Every time someone says trolls, I think of those dolls from the 70s. Yes, yes. With
I
the
wish I had
crazy
troll hair.
I feel like
Then I could really do something.
I feel like I kind of have some troll hair right now.
And anybody wants to know, did the 700 peso haircut in Tulum, 170 pesos here in Huatuco. So
Yeah,
much better.
yes. Agree. Guadalupe Perez. Hola. You guys are the most beautiful, honest couple. Thank you.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Andrew, who did you guys see at the Ryman? We did not. I visited before he and I met. I was on a serendipitous trip to Oklahoma City to see my mother, and we did like a southern loop. And we went down and seen some things like the Lost Sea, which I think was in Arkansas, or I don't know. We did some things.
Now, and I was in Nashville for the fall PMA show, and we were at the Opryland Hotel. And one of the things, they always have all these excursions, and so one of the things was they took us all and we did a little tour of the Ryman, and then made our way over to Opryland at night. And it was actually, I think it was closed, and they stayed open just for the PMA.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, when we were in Nashville, we had gone to the Ernest Tubb store, I think it is. I can't remember right now. It was Ernest Tubb something. And there was the Country Music Hall of Fame. We went there and went to Ryman. So it was really cool. One of the things we did on the trip, with my first husband, we stopped at Casey Jones. We stopped at
driving that train.
That's right.
Oh, yeah,
that's right. We went to Casey Jones' home. And I know we had done Loretta Lynn's childhood home. I don't remember everything. I know we were in Opryland.
What, you go to Butcher Holler?
Yeah, we did.
No.
Yeah, we drove right, I don't know. We did a bunch of things. And we were just having fun. We went past Graceland. Oh, my goodness. I remember this to this day. And
the album or the
we went past Graceland.
Okay. The house.
And I remember we went into Memphis. We saw all them. They would not hide. Oops. Connection's lost again. It says it's reconnecting. All right. So let's see here. We'll wait until everybody comes back. Hopefully it comes back. Are we back? Are we back? Oh, we're back. Oh, good. Okay, so anyway, we went to Graceland, and I was excited to go to Graceland. And then at that time, during that period, they would not let you take any photographs inside. And the cost to get into Graceland far exceeded our budget at the time. And I'm like, well, geez, oh, man, if I'm going to pay that much to go into Graceland, I want a damn picture of me in the jungle room. And so we didn't go. We just drove by it. Anyway. It's much smaller than I thought it would be, too. Let's see. George Benson, where are we at? Wait. Up. Sheila E.
Yep.
With Ringo Starr. I didn't know that she played with Ringo Starr, but you know what? I think a lot of people love playing in Ringo Starr's all-star band.
Along with
That's the problem. I don't want to talk until we come back.
Anybody hearing us right now, or
And oh gosh, I think we're back. Goodness.
We don't know what's going
We
on.
don't have any idea. This is crazy. I'm going to complain after this is over. I'm going to be that person.
And yes, Suzanne, George Benson was awesome. I've seen him twice, and yeah.
Do you think it'd be hard to settle down in the end? No, because
No.
we've kind of determined that the moving is very, very, very tiring. And it's not that we don't enjoy it. It's not that we don't enjoy seeing new places that we've never been before.
Okay, I was
We
going to say
absolutely do.
your verbiage was having me going.
We were so used to Riviera Maya, and it's all kind of the same. And we have now seen places. We can't believe the diverse culture, the history. It's fascinating. The landscapes. We just never imagined that it would be like this. And so the Central Highlands have been interesting. What is the mountain range in Chiapas called? But it was so pine oak forests. Like what? They have pine oak forests in Mexico? It was beautiful. And
well, the jungle of the Yucatan. I mean,
yeah.
We are getting an opportunity, and it's really interesting because the number of Mexican nationals that we have become friends with, so many of them go, my God, you are seeing more of this country than I have ever seen. And so we feel blessed in being able to experience so much of this beautiful country. But
we get tired.
The big but
Yeah.
is that, granted, it was 2 years ago when we made the decision, we're going and well, maybe 3 years ago, what now, but it's been 2 years now of being on the go.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy level, didn't realize that when you get into your 60s, every year, the brain thinks, oh, 30s, 40s, yeah, I can still boom, 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 boom. Not much changes from year to year. You get in your 60s, shit ain't the same.
Look,
I mean, it's and there's been a couple of things that have happened. I mean, she had a broken arm, couldn't help. She got sick, couldn't help. I mean, it's just
it gets very tiring, and we have found ourselves on a couple of occasions employing someone to help us move our stuff. Yeah.
Or by the grace of God here, our host called her husband over, and I was like, yeah, let's just get the bulk of the stuff in, and he was like, no, we get it all, and it just
he
it was
worked
like
hard.
Holy crap.
I wanted to take them out for dinner for the amount of effort he put in helping us get moved in. And
we still will. It
still hasn't happened yet, but it will. My mind feels 25 as well. And I like to go to concerts. And it got to the point where I want to get closer and closer and closer and closer to the stage. Because number one, I'm short. So I either want to be able to sit down and see the show. Or number two, I need that rail to help hold me up because I can't stand that damn long. And at the end of the show, my knees are killing me. So that's why when we went to the resort to a music festival recently, I really wanted to have that corner suite that overlooked the stage so I could just sit on my butt on our balcony and just watch the show.
And I could sleep.
And he could sleep. So, yeah, but settling down, I don't think it'll be hard to settle down at all.
No, I mean,
it's going to be hard deciding.
That's exactly what I was just fixing. The hardest part's going to be the conversation. And realistically, this is what I am picture happening is we're each going to have to write down our top 5.
Only 5?
Yeah. I mean, well, what? I mean, each one of us is going to have to come up with our 5, and then the ones that are on the common list between the 5, if there are, which I think there will be, then we sort of have to hash it out of, okay, in knowing us, there'll be a spreadsheet involved. Okay, we like this. We like this. I mean, and that's the way we operate, folks. I mean, that's just, it'll be.
It's called anal retentiveness.
It's the old adage that they used to say of take a piece of paper and put pros and cons. Well, we use a spreadsheet, but it's basically the same thing. This one has this. This one has this. Oh, you know what? The airport's a little further away. I mean, these are the things that it'll probably come down to.
It's going to come down to, and they will have an influence. Friendships. Actual cost of living. Airports. Medical facilities. Walkability, and how comfortable we just felt there. So that's what.
Well, I haven't felt unwelcome any place. So
no,
I mean
no, but some places are just more comfortable than others, and you will love Baja. Easier on expats, free zone, and bringing your car and items down are easy. That's true, except that we have a tip because we're traveling the whole country with our car.
Because we will have driven through. Oh my God, I can't count this. This is probably. I think there's 35 states, 36 states.
There's 30 something states.
I know. That's what I said. It's 35 or 36. And this is state number 20 something, I think, that we've been in, or I've been in my life. And we've driven through most of them now. So most of the 20 some odd that I've been in. So yeah, we had to have the tip because, some people go, well, yeah, we're going to Baja. We don't need a tip. Well, how the hell are you planning on getting your car from the border to Baja or not Baja, Quintana Roo, because they don't need a tip in Quintana Roo unless you're shipping them by boat.
Yes. See, you are wealth of such good information. Appreciate the insight. You're very welcome.
We're always here. And honestly, Suzanne, we're always here to answer questions. We might know them, we might not,
We try not to give you stuff that we don't really know.
But yeah, I mean,
that's important.
And the one thing we always will say is, if we don't know, we don't know. I mean,
always, yes. Immigration, always hand them your residency card first, because like Mark said, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, and they're just used to just taking it stamp. And when you give them that residency card, it makes them pause for a moment. And oh, okay. So that's very important to do that. And I was curious if there's a traveling mailbox service in Mexico. I'll look.
I would say
it would probably be, if it exists, it's probably going to be one of the shipping companies that offer it.
Yeah, but here's the biggest issue. If we're maintaining, and I say we, Tom, Jesse, if we're maintaining a U.S. residence, for our credit cards, bank statements, whatever, the expense of shipping or mailing everything to a Mexican mail service and then expecting the Mexican mail to be timely is not going to happen, because Mexican mail service, even we a good friend of ours, Romy, who's lived here, 20 some odd years in Querétaro, we asked her about the mail service, and she quite honestly looked at it and goes, I don't know. She goes, it's, I don't know really how it works. And so having them mail something over that could be time sensitive, you'd have to have it shipped. And so with that in mind, that's why we have the traveling mailbox that we utilize out of South Dakota, that, we have them open and scan everything for us. Well, not everything, because some of the stuff we can look at from the envelope and go pitch,
right?
But if it's something that we go, no, we want to see what's inside of it. They open it, they scan it, doesn't cost us anything, and we look.
It costs us the membership of having it.
Well, okay, yes, but it doesn't cost us anything additional to have them do the scan, and so they do the scan. We look at it, and If it's something we don't really need, we can tell them to pitch. Some of the stuff, they'd send us a scan. Well, all we need is a scan of it, and we can save a PDF of it, and we've got it. If we need to print it out, we can go do it for a peso, at Papeleria. So, if we need a hard copy, we could do it that way. Pitch. But there's some things that, like if you replacement credit cards, I've got one that my date is coming up in August. And so they're sending me the replacement card. So it's like, okay,
yep.
Boom. And we have them sort of hold all of our stuff. And, because some stuff isn't time sensitive, but we just say, hold it. I think they charge us $1 a month per piece if it stays longer than 30 days. And then they just sort of hold it. And then we get something that is time sensitive, put it in a FedEx package or a DHL package. Boom.
And it usually costs around
And we're back.
Oh my gosh. It's like quantum YouTube. Keeps appearing and disappearing without explanation. You got that right.
And we don't have a clue. I mean, we really don't.
No.
And this will be a discussion that we will be having with Restream when this is done.
Yes. Okay, so Andrew, you forgot the bacon. You gotta put the bacon in there now, man. Okay. And the mayonnaise, I take the mayonnaise and put the mayonnaise on the outside. That's how I grill it. I grill it with the mayonnaise. You put the bacon, the banana, and the peanut butter inside.
I thought she was nuts when she started doing grilled cheese sandwiches with the mayo on the outside. It's the bomb. And even better still is the healthy olive oil mayo on the outside. And that makes a hell of a grilled cheese
nice,
and ham.
Crisp, golden, toasty. But yeah, I did make an Elvis sandwich a couple of times. It's a heart attack waiting to happen, but it is really good. In fact, it's so good that when I do make just a peanut butter and banana sandwich, which occasionally I will, and I don't grill it, I actually will sprinkle bacon bits on it too. It's yummy. Oh, Lord. There you go. You seem like you're ready to stop moving, honey.
I am every time we move. I mean, there's sort of a dichotomy here because there's an excitement to go to see someplace new, but there's the, oh shit, I got to load this car again. And, there are times I go, I have put my hands on this box now 14 times. This box has not been opened.
I can tell you exactly what boxes those are too. They're my art supplies. The ones I refuse to leave in the U.S.
I understand, but it's just, you go, okay, it is what it is, but it's frustrating moving 14. I mean, all these times, and it's just, that part gets very tiring very quickly.
And the loading has become more difficult, and I've been scratching my head trying to figure out why, because we don't really buy things to add to what we have. And I've been using things up, so we should have less of them. I've even gotten rid of some clothes along the way. But then it dawned on me, we buy groceries. And sometimes we have a few groceries left over,
Mhm.
2 or 3 bags of things that we are now adding to the moving. So,
And anybody who wants to go back and look at day one of our trip down, there wasn't any extra room.
no, there wasn't. And so adding those groceries really has, the few bottles, the couple bottles of face wash or shampoo that I've used up or body wash don't make up for the 3 bags of
No.
groceries. So, yeah. Anyway, hey, Claudia, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I went and got a haircut, and he was looking at me, my barber, and no, I take care of that myself.
Oh goodness, Tom, don't do it. Don't do it. Tom, I have never been able to do a cartwheel.
I could do a round off and a backflip.
Really?
When I was in high school, and yeah,
I have never been able to do a cartwheel.
and a kip up and all that stuff.
When I was in junior high, I knew I couldn't do one, and I can't. I've never been able to do one my entire life. And when I was in junior high, my gym teacher insisted that I do it, demanded that I do it. And our gym class had like 4 classes going on at the same time. And I'm going to do a failure of a cartwheel in front of all of my peers at that age when everything is awkward. I refused. She sent me down to the principal's office. Principal's like, "Why are you here?" Like, I'm never in trouble. And I told him why. I said, "It's embarrassing. I can't do one. I'm not going to do it in front of everybody and be embarrassed like that." So he sent me back. And what she ended up doing is she waited until everybody had to go to the lockers and get changed again. And then she had me try to do it in front of her. And then she finally gave up. Because guess what? Because I can't do a cartwheel.
All right.
And we're back. Do you think you'll further shorten your list of destinations, or will you try to see as much of Mexico as you can before permanent residency? Hola, Lisa. At the moment, I don't think we're going to shorten the list further. That 6 month stay in Querétaro is kind of like a halfway point.
Well, no,
And we
that
kinda
literally
needed it.
is that literally is 25 months,
Yeah.
24 and a half months since we arrived in Querétaro. So it really is sort of a opportunity to go.
Yeah.
And realistically, I mean, there were some cities on the West Coast that we had on there that were more content driven than we were ever going to live there. I mean, Acapulco. Neither one of us got warm and fuzzies about Acapulco.
I mean, I wanted to see it.
We wanted to see it, and we wanted to do video content from there and everything else. But and we still can do that. But spending 2 months or a month in Acapulco, it sort of was.
I mean,
and we cut 2 months out of the 5 months we were going to do in the IEEC area. So
yeah, it was one of those things where we said, okay, look, we need to limit how many of these places we go to for only 1 month. Because when we would get there, a month would go by so quick, and then we're loading up and moving again. So we tried to extend those 1 months a little bit longer to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. And we just knocked a couple cities, maybe 4 cities out, I think, at the most. It wasn't a lot.
No, it wasn't really that many.
We shortened a few stays, we lengthened a few stays, and we knocked like 3 or 4 cities out.
I can think of 3 cities we knocked out right away. We knocked out Acapulco, Loreto, and San Jose de los Cabos. We got rid of those 3 right there, and that basically made up the amount of time that we were going to add back into Querétaro, along with the 2 months.
And we shortened
We shortened Ahihi.
Lake Chapala stay a little bit.
The Lake Chapala area by 2 months. So that, that suddenly was like, okay, there's the time. And quite honestly, I think both of us were like, I don't think either one of us wanted to admit to the other that we were
getting tired.
That we were starting to drag on this tour because we didn't want to be the one to rain on the parade, because it's phenomenal and it's fascinating to see everything that we are. But the hard part is to go, man, I'm tired. And it was one of those where as soon as I said it, she looked at me and goes,
yeah.
And it was like,
true.
Right.
It's true.
Yep, we're on the same page here. Both of us need a break.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And
I'm tired.
I'm so tired. Tired of love. Who can name that movie?
Duh.
And Tom, yes, I've been in contact with Cindy, and Cindy from Huatuco, and yes, we are going to get together. Her and Fred are on a trip to see family, and they will be back within the next week or two.
Actually, I think they're coming back this coming week.
Yeah, within the next week or two, and we talked about getting together. I contacted her right before we got here, and she was very, very agreeable to that. So, yeah. Huatuco. Yeah, I know. Gina, us frozen. Yes. Oh, goodness. Alma. Hola, Alma. I just watched one of your videos on when you had the estate sale. That was amazing. Well, thank you. But boy, it did not feel amazing. It was, it was disappointing how little money we actually made. We had higher hopes for some bigger priced items that, well, people just weren't interested. It was actually shocking. And even the guy who ran the estate sale was surprised that it didn't sell. But at the same time, what a relief.
Well, you have to remember that what they purchased, they got to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so items like, that we were sort of disappointed in was, we spent a boatload on our bedrooms suite.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, and it was
hand carved, heavy as hell, marble topped. Yeah.
But you had to take it. And you know what? It was not a light set. And so I get the whole, but what a relief off the shoulders as far as what you're going to do with all your stuff, because they came in and basically said, if you'll get out of our way, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And that was literally how it went. So, the estate sale, I recommend having more time to prep for it, because a lot of the stuff that went could have been donated to libraries, books, media, because nobody buys that crap. I mean,
books and books, boxes of books, boxes of CDs,
donate it to
video games,
donate it to the local library,
movies. Yeah,
they can do something with it, and whether if they don't want it, they can give it to some maybe an elderly home for people to read, whatever. But we didn't have much of a chance to do the donations, and that sort of was painful. But go through early, start paring down. If you have things that you think have value, try and sell those early.
Yep.
And the rest of it, give it to them. And he goes, we charge 10% more for the homeowners who hang around.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell us twice. Bye.
And it's just like, you have to remember, they're in it to make money as well. And so what he's basically saying is, you're going to get your emotional attachment up on something and say, I can't believe you're selling this for this. You know what? It's going to go no matter what.
Yeah.
It's either going to get donated or it's going to get sold. If he can get $5 for it and you're going, but I paid $200 for it. Well, if you donate, you didn't get the $5 for it. So
no. And oh, Andrew, my wife is an artist as well. You should see our spare bedroom with art supplies stacked up. Yeah, I actually turned a spare bedroom into a studio at one time with pegboard and all my stuff. And I actually had an art business. I would sell.
she's very talented.
I would sell. I had commissioned work, and I actually had my art published in some books that are available on Amazon, calendars, and my art's been in art galleries in other countries, on tour. So, but I went back to school, and when I had to go back to school, I didn't have time to do my art, and then I never picked it really back up full time. So I have some really, 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 it's mostly colored pencil, and my art pencil sets are so freaking expensive. And I said to him, there is no way I'm leaving these in the US. They're coming with me, because if I have time, which I haven't had, but if I have time, I'm going to do some art. And so that's why we have them. They're expensive. I mean,
They are that.
my color pencil sets are like $400 a set. And that's just the pencils. It's not even the papers and everything. So yeah, expensive. Jesse, could y'all do a video where you do a summary of each of the towns you visited and what you thought of each? Well, we could do a summary, like a collective summary.
And I think the plan was we were probably going to be doing that in the build up to the
final place,
to the reveal. I mean, it's sort of like,
yeah, it's always been a thought that we would do something like that, kind of like a compilation.
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
The marketer in me goes, okay, hold on, how do we build up the reveal? And so, okay, sort of doing the, all right, we've done, and that's
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm reading while you're talking.
That's just,
I know.
That's the way I think. And it's just,
and yeah, I really wanted to go to Acapulco. I did. And I've seen people, other YouTubers, popular ones, who have gone to Acapulco, people who do live there and things like that. And I feel that Acapulco is like any other city in the world, where what areas are dangerous and what areas are not, and you stay in your lane.
Well, and the other thing of that is, all right, well, you go to Acapulco, it's one of those places where you go, all right, Frankie used to come down here. And I mean, it has, Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, it has all the history and all of that. And so it's sort of will we get there? It's sort of like, it's now going to become,
Of course, Tom would get this.
Yes, well, of course.
Get your freaking feet off the stage.
Yes.
Oh.
But that's just, it's going to be like Mexico City. It's going to be, all right, well, eventually we're going to get there and see it.
So the bedroom set ended up being donated to kind of like a Habitat for Humanity place.
Mm-hmm.
They came and they picked it up. That was the only way we were going to be able to get it down the stairs. We could not move that set.
No.
There was no way. No way.
No.
I mean, when that set got moved into our home, it took two very thick, muscular young men to sweat bullets to get it upstairs. So,
Both times.
Yeah. So Habitat for Humanity got that set. And, at least somebody is getting good use out of it. It was a very good set.
And even if Habitat for Humanity sold it for $500, they got $500 out of it to help build a new house.
That's right. Hola, Marco. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Lisa, we had our estate sale for 2 weekends, one at the end of June and the other this past weekend. We did very well. Good. We were fortunate enough that we sold our bedroom set, which I was concerned about. Yeah.
Having time, that's the biggest thing. I mean, the one thing that if I look back at how we did this move, when we had to put the boys down, that was early June. And we were gone by mid-August.
Yeah.
We compressed what we were thought was going to happen in 14 months down to less than 10 weeks. And
I was literally at my breaking point with my job.
I know, and it needed to happen.
Yeah.
But it cost us money because of what we had to do, and it needed to be done. And I don't regret doing anything the way we did it because it got us down here and everything else. But if we can tell you anything about what not to do, don't try and do it in a rush, because that was the part that we made mistakes on and everything else. Because if we'd have had the opportunity to have the estate sales, and he could have had a build up for 3 months of going, this is what's going to be there, and he could have marketed and done all this, it would have done better. And
yeah,
we pushed things, and we didn't have time to list things on the internet to go, oh, this is collectibles and things like that we could have sold. Nope. I mean,
the interesting thing about that estate sale is that we almost had nobody else we could choose to go with. We actually had estate sale people turn us down because our stuff was not valuable enough. So those are people who basically sell.
They want old people who are dying who've got antiques.
Right. So we were lucky that we found the guy we got, and he did a great job.
And I'm glad we found who we got, because first of all, he was honest, and second of all, he dealt with our pain in the ass neighbor and did it in a nice manner, because I'd have told this person to just basically
our neighborhood
HOA.
The HOA didn't like the fact that we were having an estate sale, because apparently, and we would not have known this because we rented. We were not a part of the HOA community. We were renting, and they had an issue with us having an estate sale because they have designated times of the year where they have yard sales. He dealt with them.
Thank God.
They did it all in one weekend. It was one weekend.
Yep.
So it was done. They even provided people to direct traffic and everything else for this estate sale.
And this is the same HOA that had a problem with our next door neighbor, who painted his door a beige color because everybody else had theirs black. And he was like, it's too hot, because the side of the street we were on got the sun. And so he was like, I'm painting my door a light color to reflect the heat instead of bring in the heat. And they told him he needed to paint it black again.
Yeah. So, stupid stuff. So Lisa, 6 months. You have got to be getting super, super, super excited right now.
Stoke time.
Yeah. It's going to fly so fast.
I remember when we did it, it just, well, of course, switching gears, we suddenly were like, all right, 3 months and we were out of North Carolina, then 2 months of being in Kansas, and it was bye.
So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, please post them. This is the Ask Anything. And in theory, no topics off limits. We may censor some of the things we say, but we will answer. I guess I can also tell you that some of the things that I've been curious about, I haven't posted a survey or a question about it. I've been experimenting with different types of video formats. I've been trying to do formats of video which are a little more cinematic, just show a lot of things with some nice music to it, and occasionally we talk. And you don't necessarily see us as two talking heads on a couch or something telling you about whatever we did. I've been trying to do more scenic ones with music. So that's one thing. And they seem to be doing well. But we do know that a lot of you like to actually see us and hear us talk about things to the camera, which is great. and we do like doing that. And there are some videos with content that we really can't show a lot of scenic things. For example, one coming up on Chamula, it's really kind of frowned upon. Taking videos of the people who live there.
Just no shit. We
because
wanted to come out of that church alive.
Well, I mean, we just. But even in the Zocalo, they're just they have beliefs and, suspicions about cameras and videos in general.
And quite honestly, there's some things that just all right, we have to talk about. I mean, it's
And then the other one I asked about, I see a question coming up that's kind of related. I had done a survey and we got a lot of responses. It seemed to be about 75% for and about 25% roughly either didn't care either way or didn't like. Maybe
I'm not here for that. I'm here to find out about Mexico.
So the question in the survey was, would you like to see a video of us occasionally talk about us as people, maybe, something about me or something about Mark or something about us, not all the time, just occasionally. And I thought maybe it could be like a supplemental video that just kind of dropped midweek or something. And that ended up getting like a 75% yes kind of thing. And here we go. Here's a question, Suzanne, leading up to that. How did you two meet?
On a hookup site.
On a hookup site. No lie.
We were both married to other people. And
we were. We were both in very unfulfilling, unhappy marriages. My marriage was to a man who came out gay while we were married. No, I didn't know. And he was very good at hiding it. But he decided that he wanted to live openly as gay. And I said, okay, well, he wanted to date. I'm like, we have children. I think we should still be parenting our children. You can do your thing, but if you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. And so I hit the interwebs and found him on a hookup site.
Now, just so everybody knows, I'm not your ordinary person. I could have done on like a lot of guys on these sites go,
Yes,
I'm so proud of my member. That's the picture I'm going to show of myself.
Not him.
I got my suit and I got my cigar and I'm like, and I had a professional photo done. It was just like, and no, I didn't have the photo done just for the hookup site.
He had a very nice professional business photograph.
And it was one of those, actually, I was having it done. And so it stepped out and lit a cigar. And the photographer actually goes, and I was in the photo industry. The photographer goes, oh man, come on. I got to do some shots for you with a cigar. And so we got a great one with a cigar with smoke, just wafting up and everything else. And so I was like, if you want to know who I am, that's who I am. And
it worked. And he was polite. And he wasn't obnoxious, rude, or vulgar, which was shocking considering the site that I was at. And we met at a restaurant in the area. And that's all that happened. We met at a restaurant and then we went home. And
we were both changed forever just from having lunch.
Just from lunch.
Yeah.
We knew there was a connection there.
Uh-huh.
We knew. And this was not supposed to be some long-term relationship.
Uh-uh.
No, this was a hookup site, guys. It was a hookup site. It was knocking boots site.
Yep.
Right? That's all it was. But
we knew. And we did eventually get to that part. But
yeah,
I mean,
we knew.
Yeah, that was one of those sitting across the table. It was, there's more to this than just shedding clothes.
And I'm jealous right now, Tom. Spanakopita. Oh my God. Do not let that burn. If you're probably gone already, I'm just going to say, wow, I'm kind of jealous right now. That is so good. And let's see. Uh-oh. We're getting stuck again. Oh, here we go. Or not. There it is. What are the age demographics of people living full time that you come across? I would say most of them that we have seen are in their 50s or older.
I don't want to get in trouble and overage somebody who's a friend of ours, but I would say we may have encountered some in their late 40s. But yeah, as a whole, it's
Most
been
of them
50 plus.
50 plus. We don't really come across a lot of young families. I know they're here,
Now,
but
to be honest, we did not engage with a lot of the people that were there in Tulum.
no, but I feel a lot of people in
I-
Tulum are temporarily visiting.
No, and the people that I encountered with, they were temporarily visiting,
Mhm.
but Playa Card, they were all snowbirding or down there looking, and they were actually older, and so
I think Scott and Spring are in their 30s.
see, that's where I was.
I think they're in their 30s. We did meet.
That's where I didn't want to over.
No, I think they're in their late 30s, mid to late 30s.
40s, but that's all right.
All right. Well, anyway, that's about the youngest.
I just don't want to go on record of saying that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But almost everybody else. I mean, Annie, Vet, and Arlene, and
Well, Annie, Vet, and Arlene are basically us. I mean,
Yeah. Mark and
she's
Paulette are a little bit older than us.
yeah.
I just think of people that we've run into. They're all around our age or older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the time. And oh goodness, farmers
No,
are us.
Actually, Andrew, it's not even around anymore, but it was a place called sexyads.net.
Sexy ads. Seriously.
That was the name of it. I mean,
we couldn't make this stuff up. No.
thank God both the divorces are finalized, and it's 20 years later. But yeah,
we have been together longer with each other
mm-hmm.
than either one of us were with our former spouses. Yeah. Oh, Lena. Thanks, Lena. Thanks for joining. Have a great evening. And oh, wait, Tom is still here. They are the real deal. What they're saying is true. They told me that from the get-go.
I mean, hey.
It's true. It's true. We would not have admitted that 10, maybe 15 years ago, but now it's like, who cares who hears it now?
I mean, by now, all the daughters know and everything else.
Everybody knows.
And we don't care that the exes know because, whatever. I mean, and
my ex knew.
Your ex knew.
I know. When I told him that I told my ex, he about had a heart attack.
Oh God.
I was like, I'm just gonna tell Joe. But he didn't realize. He didn't totally realize that, like I said, my ex-husband told me that he wanted to date. And I'm like, okay, if that's how it's gonna be, then so we had an agreement, and it became an open marriage at that point. And I told him, and he about had a heart attack. So. and all the other guys that I was conversing with on that website disappeared because I was honest with them.
Well, as you always have been.
Yeah.
But
so they all vanished. He stuck around, but he was nervous.
Nervous is understatement of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Andrew, I agree about Tulum. Yeah, there's a lot of it's young. It's a younger demographic, but it doesn't feel like it's necessarily permanent residents to me. It seems like it's snowbirds. A lot of it.
Snowbirds and investors. I mean, I think that was the biggest feel that I was getting out of Tulum. Well, two things. Very bohemian. For those who were there, it was sort of I got that bohemian,
I'm so boho.
They have the holistic massage area and all that, but
Chakras are getting aligned.
yeah, and a lot of investment going on as far as going, okay, I think this is going to be the next Playa del Carmen, and I'm going to jump in now and buy my condo at $300,000 US, and 10 years from now it might be worth 750. I mean, that's,
I can't think in those terms.
the problem with it is the infrastructure isn't there in Tulum to support it, and the commercial side is doing their damnedest to catch up. I mean,
Yeah.
they got the new Chedraui, they've got another one that's going in. They're widening the main street down, the main road that goes from the highway, the carretera, down to the beach. That's totally being redone. But as they continue to build back into the jungle between where we stayed and the beach, and that whole set of jungle
Yeah.
is not going to be there for long at the rate that they're just plowing it down to build up condos. There's going to be more condos than there's going to be demand. And
I think so too.
That's,
Girl, I know. Bohemian. You know what? I have a boho soul. Ask him.
oh God.
I'm
Yeah.
so boho. I don't always dress boho just because boho doesn't necessarily look good on me. And I tend to not like to show my arms because I got flabby arms. But I love boho. I'm all about the drapey, chiffony, quilted, patchworky things, macrame. That's me. But yeah.
No, Woodstock would have been cool. I mean, but
Would it though?
as
Would
old.
it?
No, I'm just saying the music part.
Yeah.
But I was 8, and I'm old, but I was 8. When that occurred. So
I was 3 months.
Yeah,
I was 3 months old.
Yeah.
I think about how it's so romantically glorified today, but think about
my God.
Think about what it was really like. They didn't have enough food. They got cars stuck trying to get in, and people just walked their way in.
They didn't have the facilities.
They didn't have sanitation facilities enough to handle the mess. They had a lot of mud that people were laying around and playing around in. And it was just kind of sweaty and stinky, but they had great music. People had a good time.
Now,
So
the music, hey, if you honestly sit there and you go, you know what, Santana got their start.
that was one of the best sets ever.
I mean,
right?
you sit here, and go,
Soul Sacrifice from Woodstock. Whoa.
Yeah, and hold on, they came together basically and did that, and here it is, 56 years later, and the man's still out there cranking on it.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good live even today. Oh my gosh, he was a bucket list concert.
Yes,
definitely. Everyone was on LSD. They did not care. There is a part of me that wants so bad to one day before I die, take a trip. Just one. And I've never been in a position to do something like that, simply because I am cognizant of the fact that you need somebody to basically babysit you so that you're safe. And I've never been in that position to do that. So I've never had somebody that can sit with me and babysit me while I trip. So,
well, you have the person, just you haven't had the right opportunity.
The opportunity hasn't been
because you can't say that I wouldn't do it because you know that I ain't partaking with you.
I know.
I mean,
he doesn't do anything.
I mean,
if you guys have ever the black and white film that the military had conducted, one wife of an officer or a person, one wife took some acid, and they interviewed her while she was having this trip, and the things that she said, I'm just like, I want to do that. She says something like, "Oh, you can't see these colors. You can't." And the guy who's interviewing says, "No, I can't." She goes, "Oh, I feel so sorry for you." I'm like, whatever the heck she's seeing, I want to see it. Oh goodness, how funny.
Who got married and knocked them off? Andrew.
What? All right, I'll get to that. They have that frog crap people smoke in Mexico. Oh gosh, no. Andrew, we got married in Nacumal 13 years ago. Definitely has changed in that area. Yeah.
And Andrew, it is only beginning. I mean,
we shared a room at the resort for the music festival with a couple that got married in Tulum. And even they said no, they never want to go back there because it's not the same place.
Yeah, I mean, Akumal, that whole the entire corridor from PDC down to Tulum, in 10 more years, it's gonna be nothing but resorts and gas stations and fast food, not fast foods because they don't do the fast foods, Oxos and things like that. I mean, it's.
I missed this one, Jesse. Sounds like most of the women's music festivals I've been to. And the funny thing is I'm not a festival person, mostly because
of that.
Yeah, no, it's mostly because it gets really hot. And you're standing most of the day. If you want to see anything, otherwise you could go back somewhere and sit, but then you don't see anything. You just hear. If I'm going to spend that much money, I actually want to see the people perform. And then the other thing about music festivals is often they have multiple stages, and then you got to pick and choose which stage you want to be at. And then if you're short like me, you want to be up front, so you got to get to that stage early and hold your spot on the rail all damn day long. And you can't leave to go see this person on this stage over here because
Jesse doesn't have the shortness problem.
Right, I know.
She's tall.
That's why I don't really do the music festivals that much. It's just the one band that I do it at. It's a small group of people because it's contained within the resort, but that's it. And that is pretty much how it is with the festivals. You really don't do festivals either. And we're not campers. We don't do the glamping or any of that stuff. We, stay on site, come in and out during the day. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, oh, wait, you can't pee. Yeah. You're at a festival. You can't, unless you got somebody holding your spot for you, you can't even leave to go get a drink or go to the bathroom,
And that don't work at my age, as you guys have already seen.
I mean, I have heard of people not going to the bathroom. They'll just go right there. I actually had people talk about how they got peed on at one big holiday. For real.
They're your people. They're your people.
Festival people. I don't know.
They're not my people. They are your people.
You can't do that, man. Don't pee on people. Don't. That should be a slogan that somebody should put on a shirt. Don't pee on people. The other one is about talkers at a concert. They always have to talk over top of the music all the time. Got to talk. Why are you there? Stop talking.
I'm going to give everybody this one thing. I see exactly what Tom's talking about. It's like there's a split screen right there.
I see it. Or they wear a diaper.
Yeah. This actually happened.
Oh, gosh. Is this the Clapton one?
Yes.
Oh, the Clapton concert. A bucket list concert, especially for him.
Bucket list. First time I have seen Eric Clapton, and he had announced that he was not going to tour anymore because he was turning 70, and he was like, the rigors of touring, I'm done. And so we go to see Eric, and these two women sitting next to me,
Half our age.
yeah, will not shut up having a conversation the entire concert. And so I kept looking at them, and then finally was just basically giving them the look of death. And they get up and leave. And when they came back, one made the comment to the other of, "Oh, we have to be quiet because it upsets somebody." And they sit down. So the concert ends. We get up to leave, and they're standing next to me. And as we're fixing to depart to go to the aisle, I turned around to him. I said, "Thanks for fucking that up for me. I have stage 4 cancer, and that was on my bucket list. Sleep well tonight, bitch."
Oh gosh, please stop now.
And whoop.
Yeah, well, they were very rude, and they were obnoxious, and yeah, he did say that. I don't recommend you say that.
I'm just saying, it's a
Yeah.
great way of making them think that, you know something, this isn't all about you.
Anyway, talkers at concerts, not loved. Talkers at concerts, that's right. Love it. Oh, I missed it. Hello, Julie. That's right. And Suzanne, you kill me. Yeah, I think it's kind of bad juju to say I have cancer, but he got a point across to them that they basically ruined the moment for someone that they know nothing about.
They didn't have a clue.
Because they didn't respect the fact that this is a performing artist who's performing his music, and you're there to hear it, not have a discussion about, what you put on yesterday and wore to work and what this guy said to you. And it wasn't that's not what it's for. So, yeah. And oh gosh. And good evening, Julie from the Blue Ridge Mountains.
We loved in Blue Ridge.
We used to live in Fletcher, North Carolina, just south of Asheville and north of Hendersonville.
All right, now.
Or people that sing all the songs. Well, I sing, I do, but I'm never loud enough to drown out the band. Now, if the entire crowd is singing, yeah, that can drown out a band. Yeah, that'll do it.
And there's certain artists. Okay, I saw Buffett 15 times, and when he's doing Margaritaville, I'm sorry, you're not hearing Jimmy, because the entire place is drunk and we're all singing along with the chorus. That's just, and when you see Garth, Garth would shut up and basically, especially unanswered prayers, and he would stop and let the audience sing back to him. But I agree that, somebody's singing every word to every song. When I didn't pay you to hear you sing, I paid them. So, yes.
Listen, I have to say this. Thank you very, very much for the super chat, Andrew. We don't really push for these, but we do appreciate that you care enough to send a little money our way. We thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew, for 25 years of protecting the U.S. of A.
Well, hold on. Andrew, are you in the U.S. or are you in Canada? I just want to be clear.
I'm making the assumption this is U.S.
Oh, it says
dollars.
USD. You're right. Sorry.
I just went on that.
Sometimes
but,
it's.
That's.
But either way, yeah. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
That's thumbs up, my man. Thank you very much. And salud.
Yeah, so now you know what the pop-up is, Suzanne, right? We don't really push for those. I mean, there are some channels where they just get super chat after super chat, and that's fine. We don't really push for that stuff, but thank you.
I mean, I have to say that we borrow this from Ernie, but the biggest thing with us, honestly, is we have created, no, wrong. Let me start that all over again. You have created this wonderful community that has become Gringos R Us. When we started this, we were like, all right, you know what? We're going to get the family members and we'll get, and here we are pushing 3,000 subscribers. And I know a lot of people will be going, whatever,
It's all right.
But this has become one of the greatest communities, and you guys are so important to us.
Yep.
That when we hear from you and we show up on these lives and you guys are there, y'all don't realize what that does for us. It gives us an energy that allows us to keep plugging forward and going, all right, because there's times we go, oh, what are we going to do for a video? Da, 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 da. I mean, honestly, because, we're two very creative people, but there's times where it sort of goes, oh, shit, we're both at a stonewalled. We're just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? But the best part is all of you have been here, and this community is all about helping each other.
Yeah.
And we have seen everybody, we've had people on here who have reached out to each other, who are now friends, which, you know what? That's the important part.
It's good.
That's...
And you're supporting each other.
They're both moving to Huatuco. I'm not going to go into names, but they're both moving to Huatuco. And they started out both as subscribers here, and suddenly it was like boom, 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 boom. And it was like, hey.
Oh, Wilfredo, you keep our dreams alive. Wilfredo, you made your dream happen. You're in Querétaro.
Well, he's part-time in Querétaro.
Yeah, but it's happening. But
by the time we get there, and besides that,
those are awesome.
You keep my dream alive, Wilfredo, because you took the field and gave me Connecticut.
Oh!
Dinner at 1810. Anyway.
Oh, Lisa, yes. I know you've been following us the whole time, and we love it. We love it so much. So thank you. Bruno, do you have a PayPal or Venmo where I can buy you a cup of coffee, cerveza, without YouTube getting a cut? Bruno, good point. Yes, when YouTube, basically YouTube takes almost half. We have a PayPal. It's in our description in the links. It's a PayPal me, and every penny comes to us. I have a Venmo, we don't have it set up for Gringos, but we do have a PayPal. So if that's what
there is the Buy Me a Coffee.
And we have Buy Me a Coffee too. Buy Me a Coffee takes a small cut.
Not like YouTube.
YouTube takes a big cut. But PayPal doesn't take any cut as far as I know.
YouTube basically just takes half the pie.
Pretty much. But there is a link for our PayPal. Let me see. Hold on. I think I might actually. Boom! I get to use this. I just put it up in the corner. That's our PayPal. I never knew if I would ever use this, but there it is, right there.
She's always thinking ahead. Oh, and the other thing, Bruno, is hopefully somewhere in the travels of Mexico, we can sit down and share a cerveza.
That's right.
Honestly, to us, that is we have met so many wonderful people here in Mexico.
Yep.
And it all started, and this is the weirdest part, it all started with us walking through a mall looking for an ATM.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
We are so intent on where are the ATMs,
Yes.
And all of a sudden we hear Gringos are us.
We weren't even in Querétaro for a week yet.
And we didn't even have 1,000 subscribers.
No.
We were like, huh? But what?
How many? We've met so many people.
Oh my God.
Cesar, we became friends with Annie, Vet, and Arlene. We became friends with Lise and Romy.
Mm-hmm.
Cesar. I'm trying to think of everybody in
Wanho.
Wanho. I was friends
sort
with
of a
Wanho. I was friends with Wanho for years though online. But yeah, I mean, every time we go someplace, we meet people, we make friends. And
George and David.
It starts with this community. It starts with the community, and we're so thankful for that. And we're thankful for you.
Yeah, I mean,
because you are what make this community.
You know, the hardest part about doing all this traveling is that it's making friends everywhere we go. But the best part is we got 3,000 friends that travel with us.
That's right.
I mean, it honestly is.
I'm packing you in my carry-on.
You know, because you guys are going with us no matter what happens, and so it's like, all right, yeah, off. You know, like in a month and a half, off to Oaxaca. We don't know a damn soul in Oaxaca. 3,000 of you are going with us, so
that's right. And by the time we leave Oaxaca, we'll have a friend in Oaxaca.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll happen. Jimmy was my first concert at a venue in Nashville that's no longer around. Pirate looks at 40. Yes.
That was one. That is one of my favorite songs to do karaoke on.
One particular harbor.
And
yeah.
And shame on. We'll go all the way back around. Shame on the
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
for not including Jimmy
before he died.
Well, first of all, he should have been on there before he died, but you put Sinead O'Connor on there because she died, but you don't put Jimmy Buffett? Wrong. One.
There's not another There's not another musician anywhere who created their entire own genre of music. How much more influence?
Nobody else did Caribbean drunk rock and roll.
And I'm not even a huge Jimmy Buffett fan, and I'll stand on that hill and die on that hill saying that man should have been in that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
a long time ago.
I'm just saying.
Along with Three Dog Night. I just had to finally get that in there.
You guys are amazing. We are only as amazing as you guys. That's the truth. We would not be here doing this if we didn't have you here with us.
Oh God, no.
And that's exactly what it is. It's all about. It's us. You're part of this.
It's totally collaborative.
1810 it is. Woo! They have year-round chili in Nogada. Chili's in Nogada. Yeah. Chili's in Nogada. Chili's in Nogada. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I love 1810. Suzanne, I feel like I could knock on your door and say, I'm here. Well, you could. Come on
down.
Come on. You could do it. Bruno, I'd hope to share a couple of cervezas and maybe a cigar with you guys in the future. Make a plan for it.
Cerveza gets me. Cigar seals it.
Yes, that's right. Here we go. Bill and Trisha. Hi, Bill and Trisha. If you like Tuxtla, you will love Oaxaca de Juarez. Okay. Looking forward to exploring more of this state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're in Oaxaca, we actually have an authentic hacienda. We have an hacienda. Not a huge hacienda, but it is an hacienda nonetheless. It is literally the type that has the wide open garden in the center of the property.
That's going to be some fun lives from there.
And the periphery is all the rooms around that garden, none of which are connected. You have to walk out of one room into a garden to walk back into the next room.
Which means in the middle of the night when I got to pee, I literally have to walk out of our bedroom, across the garden, and pee.
And it's a dry kitchen. There's no water in the kitchen. The water is
now
out in the garden.
Anybody want to take the odds on whether I make it across the garden or not? Just saying.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm excited about it. The fun thing is and this really kind of made me feel good. We got 20 questions from the owners before they would agree to let us
to
stay
even
there.
rent us.
To even rent to us.
Because we were doing it for 3 months. And so he was sort of like,
He was
all
grilling
right,
us.
hold on.
He was grilling us 20 questions, and I answered all his questions. I told him that we were YouTube creators. He wanted to see some of our videos. I showed him, I gave him a link. He was traveling. He said he would, after he landed, he would get back to me. And what he told me when he landed was the reason he was traveling is that he is a producer for Home and Garden Network. And he was going on location in Texas for a show that he was working on. He watched some of our videos, and he said I was doing a really nice job with them, and he thought they were great. And then he approved our stay. And I had asked him, they have a strict no video recording policy, and I asked him if it would be possible if we could record videos that we typically will do one about the Airbnb and things like that. Well, he lifted the policy enough to say that we were permitted to do videos in the garden, but he wants to hold off and talk about it with regard to doing a video about the Airbnb because they had a problem with a previous person who this guest rented the place, brought a male with her, and they made porn with in their hacienda. They made porn in the hacienda. So that's why he's got this policy. But because he works in HGTV and he really made me feel good about the work that I'm doing, I think that he may allow us to do the Airbnb video. I can't wait. I'm so excited about this stay. It will be the most authentic, aside from colonial houses that we've been in, the most authentic place we've stayed in, housing style. I'm really excited. Oh, did you get me another one? Gosh, we're coming up on 3 hours pretty soon here.
Well, we had interruptions.
I know we've had interruptions, but you know. And somebody PayPal. I saw that. I saw somebody scanned the PayPal. So thank you. Suzanne, sometimes I forget Jimmy's gone. So many great times. He's not gone. It's a mentality. It's in your heart. Yeah. And the music. I just really, like I said, I'm not a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. Not like he is. He's huge. I like some songs. And I think he's a great performer. And you know, I'll listen when I feel like I want to listen to something. I'll put on some Jimmy when I'm in that mood. And I felt years ago that he had been snubbed for so long. He needed to be. Nobody makes their own genre of music. Literally Caribbean drunk rock. Nobody does that.
Jimmy did.
The only people that are doing that now are some of the country music artists that came over and picked up on that. But Jimmy was doing it. He should have been in there. That's influence.
That's influence.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if they want to go, well, Kiss made it because of their live performances. Look at the last 30 years in the top 5 grossing acts every year for live performers. And there's one name every year for 30 years that was in there. And it's Jimmy Buffett. I mean, people came out to see him because those of us who love Jimmy couldn't get enough of him. And her introduction to the first time she saw Jimmy was we pulled up into the parking lot. And
it was hours and hours before the show.
Oh, yeah.
And every parking lot, even the overflows were full. People were already packed. I've never seen anything like that. It was incredible.
No, what was in front of you in the woods as we pulled up?
Oh, yeah. People were going to the bathroom in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, oh, hi. You know.
Yeah, well. Anyway, we had a good time.
Yeah, but it's, you know, none of this happens at all without any of you guys. That just has been the case.
What happens to these short ones and why?
Well, you try and smoke it and go ahead and tell me.
I don't know. I just was asking.
They don't work very well.
It's almost 3 hours, guys. Should we wrap this up? We got maybe 15 more minutes max. Maybe don't do porn in a hacienda. No.
Well, hold on. Whoa.
No, we will not. we wouldn't do it without a hacienda. No hacienda, no porn.
No, we just don't turn the camera on. Well, hey.
Really, no.
I mean, hey, we are, after all, human. I mean.
Wow.
Well,
Well,
I'm just saying.
Goodness, no, we will not be doing that.
No.
No.
We will share a lot of things with you, but we ain't doing that. In the words of Meatloaf,
I will do
anything for love, but I won't do that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
There's that's just like, that's social media at its worst. Everybody's got to share everything.
Do you ever find hidden cameras? And I don't even look for them. You found one?
No. El Tejar, they actually had it in the house.
It wasn't hidden.
It wasn't. No, I'm just explaining. In El Tejar, they had it in the house, and they had it on the pool, and they had it on the grounds, which we appreciated the one that was shining, because anybody wanted to pull a boat up, could have just walked right up.
It's true. People could have walked right up into that property right off the river.
Yeah. And there was one time that nobody seemed to be there, and I can't remember why. We didn't have the keys, and I actually had to walk around, and I actually was able to just go to the end of the wall and through the end of the river, get my way back up. And so they had it, and Jose Luis and Juanita, he just went, he unplugged it. He unplugged everything except for the one that was on the river and the one that was on the front gate.
He basically said he was going to turn off the cameras so that if Mark wanted to drop his shorts in the pool and skinny dip, he could.
Which I did.
Which the first opportunity Mark had, that's exactly what he did. And so I joined him. So now there's two of us, middle-aged me, very overweight person, floating around in the pool naked. And all of a sudden, here comes Juanita up the side doing this. We thought we were alone. Juanita's doing this. So from that moment on, I never went out there like that unless it was pitch dark and I knew nobody was there.
Didn't stop me. But anyway, they had the cameras on at the last resort, the last house. They had one up that was up above the garage there on the front porch.
Yeah, but
no, it was checking for the entrance.
We've seen security cameras.
But
the question is, hidden cameras, we don't even look for them. And the way I feel, gosh, I've done this. It must be me aging. I don't care anymore what people think about my appearance. As far as me getting older, my skin's getting crepier. I've got floppy arms that look like bat wings. I've got an apron that just flops around in my stomach. I've lost weight. The skin doesn't go away. I've gained weight. The skin still doesn't go away. I'm done caring. I'm to the age now. And this is why my grandma was the way she was. I don't care. This is me. This is who I am. And if it bothers you that much that I look like this, look away. There's something else over there you can look at. So if they do put a hidden camera in a place where we stay, they can look all they want. It's not pretty. They're not going to have any fun with it. They may laugh, but I don't hear them. So they can look. I don't care. Let them look.
I really don't care. Because trust me. I'm not bashful. As you guys all know, I will speak my mind.
Right.
I will if we had a private pool, if somebody wanted to fly a drone over, guess what you're going to see? You're going to see Mark out there and
OnlyFans. OnlyFans. Oh my gosh. If somebody wants to pay me money to watch me put food on my feet or something, I don't know, maybe whipped cream toes. I don't know. No, there's all kinds of like fetishes on OnlyFans.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think to say on your feet, you're going to be a solo act.
I don't know why this thing is freezing up again. I'm trying to show comments and it's just not accepting. There's going to be a message sent to Restream for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's happening here? Anyway, while that is stuck on the screen.
Jimmy had a foul. Yes, Jimmy was very much like the dead. I mean, those of us who were parrot heads, I remember seeing him in 1977 at the Carowinds Amphitheater, and they were selling parrots, stuffed doll parrots. And one gets bannered about the entire, concert, and boom, 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 boom. And eventually the stuffing starts falling out and it ends up on the stage and it's really nothing but a shell. And Jimmy puts it on his head. And so here he is, basically a parrot head.
Yeah.
And he looks at us and goes, and your parents are worried about people like us. And it's like, okay,
it is just not letting me display any. That one comment is now stuck. It's what I get for putting OnlyFans up on the page. It's stuck now and it won't let me take it off. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good age to be.
It's as long as you are happy in your body. That's right, Bruno. That's right.
No.
It's
a good mindset to be. It doesn't matter what age you are, Bruno. It's you know what? You are what you are. And I spent the better part of 40 years trying to be my father. And it wasn't until I met her that I finally realized that, you know what? I'm not Larry, I'm Mark. And Mark's pretty good.
Yep.
And ever since then, even my mom, and when I get mom's approval, that's like, okay, that's the wisdom in the family. She was like, yeah, that woman's done a lot to make you just. His mom is
great. His mom is great. She's awesome. Mark, what cigar are you smoking? I enjoy cheap, black, and milds. That is from Goldfish. Hi, Goldfish.
All right. This is a 60 peso cigar. So $3, $3.25. It is a Corona from the Fábrica de Black Cházaro in Querétaro. And I only am able to get these because I have two angels in Querétaro who have gone above and beyond. Annie, Vet, and Arlene, love you two dearly. They made an arrangement with Mauricio, who is the general manager of Black Cházaro, and he drops off 300 cigars every 10 to 12 weeks, and they ship them to me. So, yeah. And if you want to know what the cigars are like, we had a video up there.
Oh, we can't.
I know. I'm joking. No, we did do a video on the tour we did of the Black Chazaro factory.
I think it's called They're Smoking.
They're smoking.
I think it's called They're Smoking.
And it's a wonderful tour. The only person that speaks English in the entire place is Jose. And Jose was a godsend. Love him. Can't wait to go back and see Jose. I know she'll go just because she wants to go see Jose because he was great.
He was awesome.
But Virginia, who runs the gift shop, is great. They, I'm the local gringo who buys, 300 cigars at a time, and they did not know what to do with me. They were like, you want how many?
That's right.
300.
And another follow-up, have you smoked black and milds, and how do they compare if so? I've tried $20 cigars and it's too much.
If you are in the States and able to get an inexpensive, the cigar that I smoked for years, matter of fact, when we met, the cigars that I smoked were AYC Grenadiers.
Antonio y Cleopatra
Grenadiers.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the yellow, which was, I got to remember what exactly they called those. They have two of them. There's a silver package, which is the green wrapper, and they have a yellow package, which is more of a natural wrapper. I preferred the yellow.
They smelled really good.
And I never, honestly, all the years I smoked the AYC Grenadiers, I never had anybody at a resort or a cruise or anything where I would light one up in the smoking areas. Go, could you put that out?
No, they were very pleasant smelling. They were.
But they tend to run. Oh my God! The last time we got AYCs is probably running about $60.
You're cool, by the way.
Tended to run about $60 for a box of 50, and we were getting them from
JRs.
We were getting them when we were able to run by JRs. We get them JRs. If we were buying them, we were getting them from Famous Smoke. It's a online company out of Easton, PA. Mm-hmm. And another one that I like, if you want a more robust cigar, would be the Olivas Maduros. They tend to run about $25 for a pack of 20. Also available at Famous Smoke, and that's the last time. If she gets a job and she's going to the States, there will be a pack that will be going to my mom's.
Yeah. And Goldfish continues, makes me want to move to Mexico. I can't travel anymore. My anxiety can't take the distance or whatever. Love the smell either way with a room temperature whiskey.
There's something to be said about having a good, I like my beer and my cigar, but a good bourbon with a cigar it's hard to beat. Give me a good, all right, this isn't a good bourbon, but give me a Wild Turkey and ginger and a cigar, and maybe 2 cubes of ice, and life is pretty good.
Yes, anxiety is hard. Yes. Wow, things are working again. Goodness. Yes. So, yeah, I agree. I have a daughter who has anxiety issues. It's rough. And she hides it really well, but she has issues.
Well,
I think,
she also is the type that masks it very well, because
yeah.
she is also not one who, out of our 3 daughters, she engages brain first,
Yeah.
which the other 2 don't tend to do before opening mouth. And number 2, she thinks about everything, and sometimes she gets paralysis by analysis, because she thinks of every aspect of it's
But she
gonna
she overthinks.
it's gonna
Yeah.
affect this person this way, this person this way, this person this way. And God bless her, love her to death, but there's times, sometimes you just got to go, you know what, I'm doing this. And that's what makes Lexi special, is Lexi does it her way, and she's been that way since she was a kid. It is definitely never going to change.
No.
No.
But anxiety, yeah. It can be paralyzing.
And if you're thinking about moving to Mexico, screw the anxiety, do it. I mean, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I typically do not suffer anxiety. Right before we finally made a decision to come and we sped up our timeline, my anxiety was high.
And mine went the other way.
My anxiety was so high.
She was the let's ramp it up, as far as thinking about doing it.
I'm talking about.
I know. What I'm saying is, you were the one that was, let's think about doing this, and then I was the one that was the slow pull on getting that along there. And then once it was like, all right, we're done, we're doing it, I was good.
That's not when my anxiety kicked in. I'm talking about the anxiety that led up to the point where we said we're pulling the trigger. I was in this job that was literally killing my soul.
Oh, that was just, you were just fed up.
Yeah, but it was just every day was just another. I hated getting up in the morning. I hated getting dressed.
Well, that was just because
getting in my car.
You were working for healthcare assholes,
and so yeah.
We won't say who she was working for, but
Anyway, the anxiety was really starting to creep up,
but that was job move wise.
Well, there's more. I'm not done. I'm not done.
All right.
And then it was the constant disintegration of civility in the U.S., which is still kind of happening, but it was really reaching a peak that I had never seen before. And everybody around me was just angry all the time. And the news cycle, he was watching the news so much all the time. It was on. It was on in our bedroom. It was on when I came down from work or came home from work. It was always on. And it was just people angry. They're angry on TV all the time. They're angry at work all the time. They're angry everywhere we go. Facebook, social media, everywhere. Everybody's angry. And that was really starting to kill my, yeah. Oh, here we go. More Irish whiskey. Oh, I can't travel anymore when the eclipse happened. I traveled to the total eclipse and had a bad time of it. Somebody said later on that the eclipse causes it. Really? That's interesting. I'd like to know more about that. But how does that affect you when there isn't something like an astrological event happening? I guess where we were trying to go is once we crossed the border into Mexico, a lot of that stress was just gone. We let it go. You can say we're living blissfully ignorant, and maybe we are. But I like it better that way. We don't watch the news anymore, or very little of it. We don't. My time on social media is almost eliminated, with the exception of occasionally connecting with friends, and then what we do with our channel. We kind of left it behind. We crossed the border, and that was the end of that. And gosh, psychologically and emotionally, everything has improved tenfold.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
has.
I mean the watching the news that used to just drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on, not just watching news. A lot of the things that would drive me nuts. A barking dog.
Oh God, there was a time he would call the sheriff for a barking dog. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. 3 a.m. and the dog's been barking since 9 o'clock at night, and I'm trying to sleep and da da da. Down here, you know what? I sleep right through the barking dogs. It's the white noise of Mexico. I mean, it really is.
You
And
adjust to it. Things
and-
don't bother you that much in here. They really don't.
it just was. It
Well,
was. I was.
okay.
I was. And now it's.
There are people who do come here that just can't seem to adjust to a different way of life.
No, they don't leave their shit at the
And
border.
they one, don't leave their shit at the border,
Uh-huh.
and two, they want to live here the way they lived there. You can't do that. And guess what? Those people are the ones that you see on the expat groups that are bitching the loudest and being the nastiest. And a lot of those people are the ones that don't last, and they go back to wherever they came
And
from.
quite honestly, the other part of it is, if you're going to make the move to Mexico,
Mhm.
and this is honestly, we have met people down here, pro-Trump, pro-Biden, but you know what? Pro-Mexico.
Pro-Mexico, man.
And the overwhelming majority have all been, that shit's back there. That's their problem. And you know what? I'm not letting it bother me down here.
No.
And those people, no problem whatsoever. We have met some who have refused to leave their baggage at that border and come down here and gone, if this person wins or that person wins, and da 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 da, and it's like,
We're in Mexico.
we're in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's a connection. I wasn't able to switch out comments. I think somebody's telling us we need to end. Oh, are we back?
not according to that.
Ah.
Well, it said we're live.
Oh, we're live. We're back. Okay. So, Mark, you are like goldfish, or goldfish is like you.
Hey,
Oh, goodness. I wouldn't use social, especially Facebook, except I need to get info on immigrating to different places, and Denver Broncos, go Broncos. Yeah. There's
I don't.
He doesn't do any social media at all.
This is the only social media that I do.
Anytime you see a response coming from us, and it's on Instagram or it's on Facebook, I absolutely refuse to do Twitter. I got on TikTok, but I don't really use it, whatever it is.
Okay.
But all the socials, that stuff's really pretty much coming from me. And I try to really heavily limit my time.
unless
Oh, and we're out again. And we're back
unless it is something. And normally when she responds, she sits there and says Gina at the end of it because she knows that 99.9% of the responses here on YouTube are from me. So
and this is
you know, and the best.
All right. When we get back, I think we're gonna end it. I think they're trying to kick us off. Oh goodness. All right. Is there anybody out there?
There we go.
Oh. Okay, guys. Guys, I think we're getting a message sent to us. I think we need to just end this. I'm so sorry, and I hate to keep you all hanging on whether we're going to be back or not. It's been over 3 hours anyway. So
On the Braves are on now.
And the Braves are on. You can't miss that.
Well, I miss that quite frequently on these lives.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm sorry this is so long, but I hope we had some fun.
Hey, it's like hanging out and talking with friends.
That's right.
And that's all this is.
I see, right? The interwebs is telling us to hang it up. That's right. That's right. Which I think we're going to do. I'm going to have a discussion with Restream and find out what was going on tonight. We need to eliminate these interruptions. So, hey, Andy, nice to see you. Thank you. We hope it was fun. We hope you guys have a great night. We will see you again 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
And no, Jesse, you won't be seeing us on OnlyFans. Yeah. Just.
Well, I don't know. Woo.
Well, I mean.
Okay. No, we're not. Yeah. I'm not putting whipped cream on my toes and having people eat like yogurt off my kneecaps. That's not going to happen. All right.
I'm just picturing things.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks. Oh, wait, what? Not to scare you both? Burnt spanakopita and white wine. Ah. Right, guys. All right. Good night, guys. Everybody. Freezing person, I know, right? Oh, thank you, Claudio and Wilfredo. We love you too. Have a great evening. 2 weeks. Ciao, babies.